Chapter 526. Right now, Xiaofan was completely going on a killing spree, sweeping everything in his path. The terrifying lethality of solidified mental power was displayed without restraint. Everyone was stunned in an instant. Especially after he killed a few powerful tower masters, the uproar on that continent suddenly quieted down. Countless pairs of horrified eyes were now staring at Xiaofan in unison. Right now, Xiaofan was floating in the air. Under the starlight, there was a proud smile at the corner of his mouth. His eyes were cold and lonely. His skin was flickering with a flawless fluorescence, and his brain was emitting a halo of mental power that could deliver all living things from suffering. His entire being was like a god descending to the mortal world, overlooking the world. This peerless elegance was indeed admirable. Of course, the most important thing was that his combat strength was tyrannical, causing nearly all the tower masters to feel fear. Right now, most of the tower masters and elders present were asking themselves if they could kill Xiaofan in a one-on-one fight. If they were unlucky, they might even be killed by Xiaofan. Even some of the old antiques who thought they had the ability to compete with Xiaofan now weighed the pros and cons and rationally chose to stay dormant. Yes, there were so many supreme experts of the human race. Although Xiaofan was heaven-defying, there were definitely some tower masters who could fight with him. However, this kind of battle would definitely be extremely bitter, and if things went wrong, both sides would be injured. As a supreme tower master, he must have a sufficient view of the overall situation. If he was blindly reckless and wanted to suppress Xiaofan, both sides would be injured, and others would definitely reap the benefits. Rather than that, it was better to maintain the current situation. At the very least, they could watch the fire from the other side and wait for the best opportunity. Oh? No one wants to fight? Xiaofan smiled faintly. No one responded for a full 10 breaths. Heck, Xiaofan shrugged. He looked at the distant starry sky. It's time to go home, and at this time. On that continent. After a short period of silence, whispers rose and fell, and once again resounded in the hall. He's too strong. He's definitely a monster. If I'm not wrong, it was mental power that killed those super big shots in a second. After mental power reaches solidification, each strand of mental power is as tyrannical as an immortal artifact. Moreover, the attack speed is too fast. With just a thought, the attack arrives. Although it's launched later, it arrives first. It's like slaughtering dogs. Psychic attacks are indeed terrifying. Think about it, no matter how fast an attack from a Jinshi divine art is, it can still be faster than a thought. An idea? In fact, the cultivation of mental power. In the entire universe, it was considered to be unpopular. The reason why it was considered unpopular was because firstly, cultivation techniques that specialized in psychic power were extremely rare in the world. Secondly, psychic power was extremely difficult to cultivate. It was many times more difficult than body tempering and Jinshi cultivation. The brain and sea of consciousness were extremely fragile. If one wanted to temper the brain and sea of consciousness and strengthen one's mind and soul, the slightest mistake could lead to cultivation deviation. The young man was able to cultivate his psyche into a solid state, making it as tough as an immortal weapon. The word monstrous was no longer enough to describe him. Among the countless old-timers present, there's definitely no one who can match him in psychic power. It's very disadvantageous to fight against a psychic power master, because psychic wave attacks come without any warning. It's impossible to guard against them in advance. In other words, that young man is invincible? It can't be, right? We have over 100 million elite human warriors here, but none of them can defeat him. There are people who can beat him one-on-one, but they will have to pay a terrifying price. In the worst-case scenario, they will all perish together. There's another way, which is to swarm him fearlessly and exhaust his psychic power. Once he's completely exhausted, we can surround him and kill him. It's absolutely foolproof. However, to do that, we might have to pay the price of over 10,000 lives. Besides, if he tries to escape, there's nothing we can do about it. Forget it. Let's give up. Such a powerful young man will definitely become an immortal in the future, and his luck will be unparalleled. Fighting him is no different from fighting the heavens. Forget it, let's not make things difficult for ourselves. He deserves the immortal treasure. We might be jealous, but there's no need to play with our lives. That's right. The children of our plane also brought back some immortal weapons and immortal pills. We won't return empty-handed this time, and we won't suffer any losses. There's no need to covet other people's treasures. Amidst the discussions, many of the old-timers' opinions had already changed. They were no longer obsessed with robbing Xiaofan of his treasures. It was as if they knew when to back off. Meanwhile, on Xiaohan's side, the pagoda master, the elders, and Yan Qi were all uneasy. Xiaohan's strength made them panic. After all, before Xiaofan grew up, they had never been on good terms with him. They even quarreled with him. Now that Xiaofan was so powerful that he could kill them with a single thought, they were all extremely worried that Xiaofan would find an excuse to deal with them. When we return to the plane, I'll give my position as the pagoda master, to Xiaofan. The pagoda master growled through gritted teeth. His voice was filled with extreme unease and hatred. What a joke. I've been an invincible genius since I was young. I inherited the heavenly mandate and became the ruler of a plane. I fought against the demon race and ruled over millions of lives. I'm a well-deserved leader, worshipped like a god. But now, the situation has forced me to give up my position. From now on, I'll have to be careful and respectful when facing Xiaofan, as if I'm walking on thin ice. Back then, that kid was like an ant, a pig, or a dog in front of me. But now, he's grown to such a level. Life is unpredictable. It's like a dream, pagoda. Pagoda master. There's no need to give up your position. It's a good thing for you to rule the world with Xiaofan. One of the elders said bitterly. Bullshit. Compared to Xiaofan, I'm worlds apart. Forget it. Say no more. The pagoda master flew into a rage out of humiliation. An inaudible heart-wrenching scream came from his throat. Xiaofan. Sect. You've destroyed my foundation. Seize my country. Damn it. Damn it. After yelling for a short while, the pagoda master's mood and expression gradually calmed down. A trace of malice was hidden deep in his eye sockets. It wasn't easy to be discovered. At this moment, the pagoda master walked toward Xiao Mingchu with a radiant smile on his face. Yes, Xiao Mingchu, my friend, congratulations. This is a cause for celebration. Your cloud sect has produced a peerless immortal genius. A god that only appears once in a billion years was actually born in our tiny ordinary plane. This is truly a cause for celebration. Yes, after we return, I'll abdicate my position and give it to a better man. I'll hand over the position of the master of the plane to Xiaofan. Let Xiaofan become the leader of the human race in our plane. I believe that under Xiaohan's leadership, the demon race in our plane will soon be completely annihilated, and our plane will realize the perfect unification of the human race. Ha 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 ha. Hearing the pagoda master's words, Xiao Mingchu felt dizzy. The boundless ecstasy had already invaded every pore and cell in Xiao Mingchu's body. He kept roaring in his heart. Sect Master. You'd never imagine that junior brother Xiaofan, whom you'd placed such high hopes on, would now fight against countless pagoda masters head-on. He's talking cheerfully and merrily, and he's swift and decisive as he kills, controlling the situation with his own strength. Xiao Mingchu was so excited that he couldn't speak, so he didn't communicate with the pagoda master immediately. The pagoda master smiled amiably and walked away, but his eyes were bursting with murderous intent. Xiao Mingchu. Now that Xiaohan has risen, your cloud sect's people are also acting recklessly. Good. Good. Although I can't deal with Xiaohan, I'm afraid I still have a chance to deal with the others in your cloud sect. The pagoda master understood that no matter what fortuitous encounter he had, he would never be able to stand on the same level as Xiaohan again. His heart was filled with jealousy and hatred, but he did not dare to voice it out. He could only vent his anger on those who were related to Xiaohan. However, at this moment, boom! 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 All of a sudden, a violent pressure pressed down on Xiaohan's camp from all directions. All of a sudden, hundreds of figures charged towards Xiaohan's camp from all directions. The leader was a pagoda master. He was a black man with an unparalleled aura. His eyes were bloodshot like a gambler who had lost all his money. The elites of my plane have all died after entering the genius zone. They didn't even bring back a single celestial artifact. Our plane has been oppressed by the demon race for years and was almost destroyed. This time, we must obtain the celestial artifact and celestial artifact. Humph. Young man, I can't defeat you, but these ants around you are too weak. I'll capture them and force you to abdicate. It turned out that the strongest human experts of a plane had done something crazy under the leadership of their pagoda master. He wanted to directly control the other people in Xiaohan's realm and use them as a threat to force Xiaohan to give in to them. The auras of these people were so powerful that the pagoda master and the others from Xiaohan's plane were completely immobilized. In less than a breath's time, they would definitely be controlled as hostages. However, Xiaohan, who was floating in the air, did not move at all. A helpless expression appeared on his face. In the next moment, puff! 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 As the golden light flickered, the bodies of the hundreds of ferocious men who had pounced towards Xiaohan's camp exploded in midair one by one. They were as resplendent as fireworks, burning away the most exciting moments of their lives. Then, they turned into dust and disappeared without a trace. It was as if nothing had happened at all. Killing with mere thought. The countless top human experts on the continent once again witnessed how powerful Xiaohan's psychic force was. With this move, the old fogies who had been planning to wait and see and covet Xiaohan's celestial artifact completely gave up on the idea. Let's go, we can't afford to offend this kid, let's return to our respective planes. In the blink of an eye, a large group of people appeared on the continent, all of whom were using their true energy to fly up into the sky. They had finally decided to leave. Eldest senior brother, big brother Luo, let's go too. At this moment, Xiaohan also let out a long sigh of relief and hurriedly transmitted his voice to Xiao Mingchu and Luo Tianyu. Let's go home. Xiao Mingchu and Luo Tianyu looked at each other and smiled. However, at this moment, a strange change occurred. A brilliant light suddenly appeared in the sky above this part of the universe. This kind of brilliance was so stunning that it did not seem to belong to the mortal world. Instead, it was the splendor of a higher-level world. Under such brilliance, everything in the mortal world seemed to dim and lose its splendor. Then, within this brilliant light, a huge vortex appeared. Endless immortal chi was surging in the vortex, and the profound divine law of space was being deduced and narrated. The whirlpool shone brightly, and gradually, a huge palace appeared, suppressing the surroundings. It was made of jade and was extremely beautiful. The boundless secular world was overturned and gorgeous. 5 colors filled the air. Around the palace, there were images of white apes presenting immortal fruits and colorful deer holding Ganoderma. An unparalleled aura radiated outwards, causing many humans who had already flown up into the sky to be forcefully suppressed and fall back to the continent. Even Xiaohan was shaken by an invisible force and fell back to the side of Xiao Mingchu and the others. At this moment, an empty, dignified, heavy and supreme voice resounded in the world. It was the voice of a monarch looking down on ants. Mortals, please wait. This emperor has a few words that I need to tell all of you. All of you better listen to me obediently. Also, be quiet. Don't be arrogant, don't talk, and don't be noisy. Listen carefully. To be continued. Chapter 527. Just as the commotion outside the genius zone was quelled and countless old-timers were about to pack their bags and return to their hometowns, something else happened. Heavenly phenomenon. A turbulent vortex appeared above the starry sky. At this moment, rays of light shot down from the turbulent vortex. In an instant, countless beautiful heavenly flowers appeared in the void, falling down in a chaotic manner. It was incomparably divine. An imposing figure appeared in the palace in the middle of the vortex. It was a blurry, illusory image that no one could see clearly. However, the aura of the great Tao and the nomological laws of the immortal Tao flowed through its body. Even the slightest bit of that aura was enough to make heaven and earth flourish with life. Furthermore, it was an extremely noble aura that reigned above the common people. As a result, the countless old-timers standing on the continent felt very humble, and were more than willing to submit, worship, and serve him. Shockingly, all of the old-timers prostrated themselves in front of the vortex in the sky, in front of the vague, imposing figure. Some tower master ranks even began to kowtow. It was as if the world's most devout believer had suddenly seen their God. The atmosphere was very strange. It's the aura of an immortal. It's clearly the aura of an immortal. Xiaofan had a different kind of realization. There's no mistaking it. It's definitely the aura of an immortal. Furthermore, it's still very far away from us. That vortex in the sky is just a spatial passageway that connects to a distant world. It seems to be a corner of the immortal world. This situation is a bit similar to Naga's connection to the immortal world. However, the immortal realm revealed by the vortex in the sky was thousands of times more real than the one Naga had communicated with. It's also thousands of times more powerful. Then, in the middle of the whirlpool, inside the heavenly palace, the figure that appeared, could it be an immortal? Xiaofan was also very surprised. However, in the face of that inviolable, and superior aura, Xiaohan's mind power was greatly affected, but he was still able to control his emotions and prevent himself from blindly worshipping it or kneeling down. Xiaofan lowered his head and muttered to himself, "Things are getting more and more interesting." Just as we mortals finished exploring the genius zone, an immortal from the immortal world appeared. Could it be that the immortals want a piece of the pie? Immortals can't enter the first floor of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure, so they can't obtain it even if they want to. Now that we mortals have it, they can't be thinking that. Immortals can't be so narrow-minded, right? Many thoughts churned in Xiaohan's mind. At this time, Xiaohan's gaze swept left and right, and he discovered that the expressions of countless tower masters and elders had changed dramatically. Their eyes were filled with panic and helplessness. Yes, under the influence of this enormous immortal intent, their mind, qi, and spirit were completely suppressed. Even the top powerhouses of the human race were trembling in fear. They felt like ants facing a giant. If they were the slightest bit careless, they would be trampled to death. Therefore, even if the immortals wanted to rob them, they could only let them. No one dared to disobey. Don't be impatient, listen to this emperor. The imposing figure in the vortex seemed to be quite satisfied with the lowly behavior of these mortals. He continued speaking. His voice contained the majesty of an emperor, the majesty of a king, and the majesty of the heavens. As he spoke, some of the sound waves that leaked out formed a majestic halo. These sound waves layered over each other, making it seem as if a god had descended. Ghosts and gods were hard to fathom, and it was a marvelous sight. You've probably guessed. This emperor is an immortal. After hearing the figure admit that he was an immortal, many of the elites of the human race on the continent, including many old antiques, kowtowed as if they were pounding garlic with their heads. Tears streamed down their faces like rain. Ha! Mortals! To be able to listen to the teachings of an immortal in your lifetime, your life has not been in vain. To you, this is a great favor. The imposing phantom also let out a faint smile that was filled with a natural sense of superiority. Xiaofan didn't think much of it. However, what he needed to do now was to protect the aura of the demon egg in his heart. He couldn't allow the immortal's intent to find out anything. Fortunately, Xiaofan's heart was surrounded by the 10,000 immortal formation that kept all auras from being detected. Moreover, the demon egg was extremely intelligent at this time. It curled up into a ball and hid itself. Therefore, Xiaofan also knew that if he didn't face an extremely powerful immortal face-to-face, if it was just the will of an immortal, it would be very difficult for his secret to be exposed and discovered. Immortals are not allowed to enter the genius zone of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao. Therefore, the immortal world sent a message to you mortals and made an exception to let you explore the lair of an immortal emperor. This is a miracle that rarely happens in hundreds of millions of years. I'm sure you insignificant mortals must have obtained a lot of immortal opportunities in the treasure vault of Zhu Dao. Ha ha ha. Don't worry, I won't forcibly take away the treasures you've obtained. The immortal said with a smile. Hearing that, many old antiques who were kneeling or standing on the continent heaved a long sigh of relief. At this moment, now, I'd like to see what happened to you mortals after you entered the genius zone. The immortal's voice became extremely dignified and cold. Suddenly, an enormous divine glow shrouded the land from the vortex. In an instant, the land where Xiaofan and the mortals were located was shrouded in it. Everyone was bathed in a golden light. At the same time, whoosh whoosh whoosh, dense rays of light were drawn out from every mortal's head and swarmed into the whirlpool in the void. This is... Xiaofan was puzzled. Suddenly, he felt that rays of golden light rushed into his sea of consciousness, trying to forcefully pull out his memories. So it's forcefully reading my memories. Xiaofan understood. He was burning with anger. This immortal is too overbearing, isn't he? He doesn't treat us mortals as humans. He wants to forcefully read our memories. Under the attack of anger, Xiaofan did not dare to be careless. His mental energy star continued to operate, and he even secretly used the destructive sky-destroying earth spiritual technique to prevent his memories from being pulled out of his sea of consciousness. Moreover, he tightly wrapped the golden light that had infiltrated his sea of consciousness. An endless sea of memories flowed into the vortex in the void like rivers flowing into the sea, and were grasped by the immortal figure. After 100 breaths, the immortal seemed to have read all the memories. Then, he nodded slightly and said, "Oh. I see, I see. I've already grasped the entire process of your exploration into the genius zone. It turns out that the invincible blade divided his lair into 4 layers. The outermost genius zone is filled with treasures of the lowest quality. I've also grasped the treasures stored in the genius zone, but they're not that great. Countless human elites who had their memories forcibly read could only swallow their anger, not daring to speak up. The invincible blade's temperament is still the same as before. He's still so playful. He actually created a celestial stone competition. Top 32. Ha ha ha. Interesting, interesting. However, what's more interesting is the opening of the second layer of the treasure in 10 years. If the wealth in the first layer of the treasure is just some small things that the invincible blade casually collected back then from the second layer onwards, there should be extremely precious and extraordinary treasures. Not bad, not bad. From the second layer onwards, to the third and fourth layer, if all the treasures are obtained by the celestial realm, it can greatly increase the overall strength of the celestial realm. This is no small matter. The immortal's shadow muttered to himself. Sure enough, the celestial realm is not interested in the treasures in the genius zone. They can give them to us mortals. However, once they enter the second layer, they are determined to get it. Oh yes. From the second layer of the treasure of the invincible blade Celestial Emperor, as long as one has the celestial key, he is allowed to bring anyone into the treasure, including celestials. Now, the will of the Celestial Emperor has descended to the mortal world and personally asked about this matter. This means that in the exploration 10 years later, there will definitely be celestials who will enter. Xiaofan was optimistic. The Immortal's shadow thought for a moment and then said sternly, I have already grasped the entire process. Red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. Each of the 7 celestial keys can bring a different number of people into the second layer of the invincible blade treasure. Celestials are not restricted. They can also enter. Then, many mortals, listen up. All mortals who have obtained the celestial key this time must bring people from the celestial realm when you enter the second layer of the invincible blade treasure after KO year. Humph. Although the treasures in the genius zone are nothing to the celestial realm, it is a great opportunity for mortals like you to obtain them. You should be satisfied. Then, from the second layer onwards, it is not something that you can touch. What you need to do is to use the celestial keys that you have obtained to bring people from the celestial realm in. From the second layer onwards, all the treasures will belong to the celestial realm. Of course, if there are mortals with high talents, we will also train them. Maybe we will give them some treasures as a reward. Then, now, all of you will return to your respective planes and prepare for the exploration after KO year. After a few years, a large number of celestials will use a special method to descend into your planes. They will meet those mortals who have obtained the celestial keys and are below 10,000 years old. When that time comes, they will enter the second layer together. I have already obtained the coordinates of your planes. You can wait for the celestials to descend into your planes with peace of mind. With that said, all the old monsters standing on this continent looked at each other. In other words, all the monsters who had obtained the celestial keys and were below 10,000 years old would be visited by celestials in the next few years. The rule set by Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao was that the people who had obtained the celestial keys must quickly refine the celestial keys into their bodies. This way, it would prevent people from snatching the celestial keys. As the saying went, the key existed as long as the person was alive. Therefore, this celestial did not directly ask for the celestial keys. If not, he would definitely snatch all the celestial keys and not let any mortals enter the second layer of the Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. To put it simply, the mortals who had obtained the celestial keys became the guides of these celestials and led them into the second layer of the treasure. In this way, we can probably still get some benefits. If we can please some celestials, that would be even better. Some of the monsters who had refined the celestial keys into their bodies and were below 10,000 years old were even somewhat complacent. In their eyes, there was a hint of complacency brewing. Red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple, 7 colored celestial keys. The red celestial key can teleport one person to the second layer of the invincible saber's treasure. The orange celestial key can teleport 3 people to the second layer of the invincible saber's treasure. The yellow celestial key can teleport 10 people. The green celestial key can teleport 20 people. The blue celestial key can teleport 50 people. The blue celestial key can teleport 70 people. Finally, there is only one purple celestial key. The celestial shadow muttered to himself. Suddenly, he paused and said sternly, "Who obtained the purple celestial key?" "Who?" "The mortal who obtained the purple celestial key, come out now." "Come out now." As soon as the celestial figure finished speaking, countless gazes from all directions turned toward Xiaofan. To be continued. Chapter 528. This Supreme Immortal Emperors will actually said that the person who obtained the purple fairy key should come out. Suddenly, from all directions, many pairs of eyes stared at Xiaofan. Most of the gazes were filled with a sense of schadenfreude. Moreover, all the evil heroes near Xiaofan could not help but move away, as if they wanted to distance themselves from Xiaofan, draw a clear line, and make their stand clear. Even Xiaofan sighed. The pagoda master, many elders, and Yan Qi and the others were afraid of being involved, so they avoided him as if he was a snake or a scorpion. All of a sudden, Xiaofan showed a sense of isolation and helplessness. The only people who stood beside Xiaofan and did not leave were Xiao Mingchu, Luo Tianyu, the 5 evil hero slaves, and a few evil heroes who had been helped by Xiaofan. Damn it, this immortal, why does he want to see the person who obtained the purple fairy key? In a flash, Xiaohan's heart also tightened. However, Xiaofan knew that whether it was a blessing or a curse, he could not avoid it. Under the shroud of such an immortal's will, Xiaofan could not shrink away, he had to face it. Xiaofan calmed down, and the solid Vajra spirit power star in his brain's sea of consciousness directly condensed to the size of a walnut. His spirit power was highly condensed to the limit. Xiaofan drove with his mind to condense the huge solid spirit power star into such a small point. Once it exploded, the power released was enough to destroy several planets. After the highly condensed spirit power star, Xiaofan could slightly resist the condensed and released immortal's will. Xiaofan worked out some countermeasures in a very short time, and then, finally, he walked out unhurriedly. The scene was extremely quiet. Oh! Suddenly, in the void, in the turbulent whirlpool, the hazy immortals will made a light sound, looking slightly surprised. Then, a sacred light beam directly refracted and shone on Xiaohan's head. Whoosh! This light beam directly penetrated Xiaohan's sea of consciousness. It directly entered Xiaohan's knowledge sea and began to search through Xiaohan's knowledge sea, wanting to obtain all of Xiaohan's secrets and memories. Humph! Xiaohan was indignant, but he remained calm and collected. The spiritual power star in his sea of consciousness became even more concentrated. It should be noted that Xiaohan's memories were stored in his soul, and his soul was fused with his mind power planet. Now, after the mental energy star was highly condensed, the density of the mental energy was as tough as an immortal artifact. As a result, the beam of celestial light was unable to penetrate Xiaohan's mind power planet. Soon, the silhouette of the immortal let out a dissatisfied snort. This cold snort was extremely light, but the souls of over 100 million elite human beings on the scene were all twitching, as if their souls were about to be crushed into powder. Their faces were all filled with terror. Now, Xiaohan's mastery of mind power was becoming more and more like a fish in water. Soon, Xiaohan deliberately revealed a portion of the memories in the mind power planet. This part of the memories was when Xiaohan was a live target in Cloud Rain sect, and when he was beaten up every day. Apart from that, Xiaohan's other memories were all sealed, preventing the celestial will from seeing through them. Oh! A living target for a puny secular sect? Not even an inner disciple? Beaten up like a punching bag every day? Isn't this a little too tragic? The celestial will immediately read this small portion of Xiaohan's memories. Then, the beam of light it had released left Xiaohan's sea of consciousness and began to wander and scan Xiaohan's limbs, bones, and internal organs. At that instant, Xiaohan's heart was clenched tightly, as he was afraid that the shocking secret of the demonic egg would be exposed. The entire world of immortals was currently searching for the demon god's soul and the demon egg. If the secret was exposed, Xiaohan would most likely be dissected on the spot. Fortunately, the great formation of immortals outside the heart had managed to resist the celestial will's probing. Miraculous indeed. Young man, you're truly heaven-defying. Mortals were usually as lowly as ants. Among billions of mortals, there might not even be one immortal who could ascend to immortality. Even if a mortal managed to condense an immortal body, become an immortal, and ascend to the world of immortals, they would be at the bottom of the heap. But you, young man, are a first-rate existence among mortals. You've obtained an immortal destiny. There's an immortal formation protecting your heart, making you undefeatable in the mundane world. Also, if I'm not mistaken, your body is the embryonic form of a dual-attribute immortal body. You've already condensed a bit of an immortal body. TSK, unbelievable. No wonder you were able to overwhelm everyone else, obtain first place, and obtain the only purple immortal key. There was a hint of admiration in the celestial will's voice. But very quickly, he changed the topic and said in a stern voice. But, young man, you've blocked your memories and refused to let me read them. What crime do you deserve? A mere mortal dares to hide your memories from me. You've committed a crime worthy of implicating the entire plane. His voice was laced with fury, causing the surroundings to tremble and clouds to rise. In an instant, all the humans on the continent, with the exception of Xiaofan, fell to their knees. Like pitiful insects, they lowered their heads and trembled, letting out terrified wails. Celestial will, please calm down. Celestial will, please calm down. We mortals deserve to die 1,000 times for our crimes. Xiaofan forcefully withstood the celestial will's wrath. His mental power star-churned, and he even continuously unleashed his extinguishing sky and earth mental attack. He forcefully withstood the enormous pressure the celestial will exerted on his mind, chi, and spirit. Mortals also have their own dignity. Mortals should also have their own secrets. Xiaofan braced himself and began to speak with fervor and assurance. Celestial will, your immortal power is boundless and above the mundane world. Why do you want to spy on the secrets of us insignificant mortals? Yes, I've indeed obtained an immortal destiny. One day in the future, I might also become an immortal. When that time comes, I'll also be an immortal. I'm afraid we'll be fated to meet, celestial will. Leave me some leeway now, and it'll be easier to meet in the future. This celestial. In fact. The secrets of mortals. You don't care at all. That's insignificant and insignificant. What you care about is that purple immortal key. Then, I'll admit it in front of you. I've indeed obtained the purple immortal key and refined it into my body. I've grasped all the mysteries of the purple immortal key. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Shockingly, it was the will of that immortal. That celestial will burst into wild laughter. Good, you're truly an outstanding talent among mortals, a dragon among men. No mortal has ever dared to speak with assurance in front of me. Ha ha ha, leave me some leeway now, and it'll be easier to meet in the future. Ha ha ha. Interesting, very interesting. Not only the celestial will, but all the humans on that continent were all shocked. Xiaofan was actually in front of an invincible celestial. He spoke in a tone that was neither servile nor overbearing. This kind of bearing. It was unique in the mundane world. If this kid doesn't die prematurely, he'll definitely become an immortal. And if he ascends to the immortal realm, he definitely won't be a bottom feeder. Countless old monsters nodded to themselves. Xiaofan persisted. This celestial, after refining the purple immortal key into my body, it'll become a part of my body. If I'm injured, I'm afraid the purple immortal key won't be able to keep it. Oh? Kid, are you threatening me? The celestial emperor said coldly. I wouldn't dare. I still want to enter the second level of immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove 10 years later to explore the immortal fortune. I treasure my life very much now, and I won't anger the celestial emperor and incur a fatal disaster. However, if I'm forced into a corner, I'll have to self-destruct and completely destroy the purple immortal key. Xiaofan said eloquently. Xiaofan's mind was clear, and his mind was sharp and full of tricks. He knew very well that he couldn't back down when facing a powerful celestial emperor. He had to take advantage of the celestial emperor's weakness in order to gain the upper hand. You dare to threaten an Celestial at such a young age? The Celestial Emperor was obviously furious, but he didn't attack Xiaofan. He muttered to himself, "That's right, after you refined the purple immortal key, it almost became a part of your divine soul. If you're slightly injured, the purple immortal key will be destroyed. That would be a waste. Good kid, now tell me, what's so special about the purple immortal key? Zhu Dao only left a purple immortal key, and it's the most precious one. I'm afraid it's not that simple. Tell me the secret of the purple immortal key." "There's nothing special about it," Xiaofan blurted out. "This celestial, the purple immortal key, can bring 200 people into the second level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure trove. It can only bring more people in than the other keys. There's nothing special about it. In fact, a trace of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's divine soul was sealed in the purple immortal key. Moreover, Xiaofan was selected as a candidate to inherit Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's legacy. Xiaofan naturally wouldn't reveal this shocking secret. Impossible. It's just a few more spots, and he arranged for you geniuses among the mortals to fight to the death? This doesn't make sense." The Celestial Emperor was still suspicious. This Celestial, when Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao opened the Genius Zone, he said that he saw us mortals as ants, pawns to play with. Not to mention giving us the purple immortal key, even if he didn't give us any reward and let us fight for nothing, we wouldn't dare to resist. Xiaofan argued. This. Indeed, Zhu Dao really likes to play. Kid, you've sealed your memory very firmly, so I can't read your memory to verify the truth of your words. But it doesn't matter. No matter how cunning you are, you can't compete with the people of the celestial realm. I'll believe you for now. Go back now. A few years later, I'll send elites to your plane. We'll send enough people to follow you into the second level of the 200 spots. The Celestial Emperor finally let Xiaofan go. However, Xiaofan was also troubled. Now, in a few years, there would definitely be a large group of Celestials coming to Xiaofan's plane. At that time, Xiaofan's every move would probably be under their control. However, things had come to this, Xiaofan had no other choice. He could only try to fool them for now. Alright, all of you go back and wait for the Celestial to meet you. In the exploration 10 years later, all of you should be obedient, that's for the best. The Celestial Emperor's voice drifted far away. The whirlpool in the void finally closed and disappeared. To be continued. Chapter 529. Finally, the immortals will disappeared. The world regained its peace. Now that the will of immortals was gone, the countless old-timers on the continent slowly rose to their feet. As for Xiaofan, he let out a long sigh of relief. After the pressure dissipated, although his whole body relaxed, Xiaofan found that his whole body was soaked in cold sweat. Damn it, it was really dangerous just now. I actually dared to talk back to an immortal. Also, this immortal is afraid that I'll destroy the purple immortal key, so he's not too calculative with me for now. In a few years, I'm afraid that a large number of immortals will descend upon my plane and cause trouble for me. Since he knows that the purple immortal key is in my hands, he'll definitely take special care of me. Damn it! How unlucky! Xiaofan couldn't help but curse inwardly. At this time, Xiao Mingchu, Luo Tianyu, and the others hurried over and looked at Xiaofan in fear. Junior brother Xiaofan, how was it? Luo Tianyu looked at Xiaofan with an exaggerated expression and said, "Little brother Xiaofan, it was really dangerous just now. You're too courageous. You actually argued with the immortals and even threatened them. It's really unbelievable for a mortal to do such a thing." Luo Tianyu looked at Xiaofan with an exaggerated expression. "I was forced into a dead end. Am I supposed to just stand there and let them do whatever they want?" Xiaofan said helplessly. "I hope it doesn't affect the stability of our plane." The pagoda master walked over with a sheepish smile. Xiaofan, the pagoda lord said, I'm just worried that you've angered the immortals, and that they'll come down to punish our plane of existence. If the immortals get angry, our plane of existence will be reduced to ashes. That's a price we can't afford. Pagoda master, don't try to guess the thoughts of the immortal. If I cause trouble, I will try my best to bear it alone. Xiaofan said with a cold smile. Try your best to bear it alone? Yan Qi muttered. Then, what if you can't bear it? He. Xiaofan looked at Yan Qi coldly. Yan Qi's scalp went numb. He quickly spoke in a weak voice, trying to please Xiaofan. Xiaofan, don't misunderstand. I'm just saying if I, Xiaofan, can't handle it, then I can only resign myself to fate. Xiaofan shrugged. The pagoda master and Yan Qi looked at each other and smiled. All right, let's return to the plane, Xiaofan said. At this time, the countless human monsters on this continent had already flown away in large groups, dispersing in all directions. Let's go home. We've also gained a lot from this expedition. When we get back, we'll study the few immortal artifacts we've obtained and find out how to use them. Once we learn how to use immortal artifacts, the strength of our entire plane will skyrocket, and we will be able to destroy the demon clan and unify the world. Come, let's go back too. With so many immortal pills, refining them into pills suitable for us will definitely be of great benefit to us. We obtained a special immortal item, the Sword Immortal Puppet. As long as it has enough energy, it can release the power of an immortal. Once we get back, we can study this heaven-defying treasure. That way, our children will have enough resources to continue exploring in 10 years. A large number of human Taoists parted ways and went their own ways. Everyone went back the way they came. They first returned to the space springboard that teleported them here. However, there were also many old monsters who came to befriend Xiaofan. Young man, your spirit and bearing are extraordinary and superior. You have unlimited potential. We all have high hopes for you, young man. It doesn't hurt to have one more friend. Tell us the coordinates of your plane. We can go to your plane in the future and have a drink with you. We can even learn martial arts from you. Young man, why don't we tell you the coordinates of our plane? If you want to have fun in our plane, the entire Monster Hero Pagoda will welcome you with open arms. Countless powerful existences took the initiative to befriend Xiaofan. They even tried to curry favor with him. Xiaofan dealt with them one by one. As the master of the plane, the pagoda master of Xiaofan's plane was ignored. No expert from the other planes paid any attention to the pagoda master. This made the pagoda master's eyes darken even more. He looked at Xiaofan coldly, his eyes flashing with crazy jealousy. Humph! Xiaofan! You're not the pagoda master yet. What right do you have to negotiate with the leaders of the other planes? What right do you have to tell the coordinates of your plane to outsiders? How dare you? I'm the master of this plane, the leader of this plane. The pagoda master's heart was surging with crazy jealousy. He felt like a dove occupying a magpie's nest. Xiaofan perfunctorily brushed off the leaders of the other planes who wanted to befriend him. It took him a lot of effort to get away. Let's go home. At this moment, Xiaofan's eyes flashed with eagerness to return home. Let's go. The pagoda master said coldly. Then, dozens of people began to return the way they came. Now, Xiaofan and the others were going to return to the space springboard from which they were teleported. Then, they would go through a 15-day teleportation and fly for more than 200 days to return to their hometown. During the flight, pagoda master, you don't look too good. A few trusted elders whispered to the pagoda master. Humph. The pagoda master snorted coldly. This. Pagoda master, there's no need to be like this. You see, a weak plane like ours actually didn't have much hope when we participated in the exploration of the Genius Zone. We were even mentally prepared to be wiped out. However, after the exploration ended, some of us survived and obtained a small number of immortal pills and a few immortal weapons. That Luo Tianyu also obtained a secret immortal technique manual. When we return to the plane, we can ask him to make a copy of it so that we can comprehend the immortal technique. An elder comforted. Shut up. Don't speak. I know what I'm doing. The pagoda master rudely cut them off. As for Xiaofan, junior brother Xiaofan, you have to be careful of the pagoda master, Yan Qi, and the others. Xiao Mingchu reminded him in a low voice. I see that their eyes are evasive like ghosts. It seems like they're planning some kind of evil plot against you, junior brother Xiaofan. It's all right. Xiaofan smiled casually. Now, I can kill the pagoda master with just a thought. If he dares to jump out, I'll kill him if I want him dead. However, he's the master of a plane after all. If he dies, the order of the plane will fall into chaos. If he dies, there'll be no one to manage the plane. It'll be very troublesome. The world will be in chaos, and the people will suffer. Little brother Xiaofan, you don't have to worry about this. You can take over the position of pagoda master. You deserve it, Luo Tianyu said seriously. Ha ha ha. Big brother Luo, I don't plan to do that. I don't want to be haunted by the secular world. Right now, what I need to do is to cultivate properly. I have 10 years to prepare. When the time comes, many of the monsters in the Genius Zone who have obtained immortal fate will improve greatly. I can't lose to them. I also need to cultivate diligently and increase my combat power. Moreover, many immortals will descend in a few years. When that time comes, there will be a storm. I can't predict what the result will be. Only by increasing my combat power will I have enough resources to deal with them. Xiaofan was also very serious. I'll have to spend the next 10 years cultivating. That's good too. Xiao Mingchu nodded slightly. Then, his brows relaxed. Ha ha ha. I'll be able to return to my hometown soon and meet the sect master. Junior brother Xiaofan, if the sect master knows about your achievements now, he'll definitely. Ha ha ha, it's hard to imagine the sect master's expression. Ha ha ha. I'm also looking forward to it. I also want to see the sect master immediately. I want to see senior brother Fong Ling and senior brother Dongfang Qin. A look of longing appeared in Xiaohan's eyes. I also want to see Yanxue and Shirong, and Yunrong. Yunrong is about to be poisoned. This. Xiaofan was extremely worried when he thought of Xiao Yunrong, whose life and death were unknown. He could only endure the pain and not touch this matter. Not long after, Xiaofan and the others returned to the space springboard. The pagoda master took out a large number of supreme-grade true Qi spirit stones and placed them into the teleportation formation eye of the space springboard. Xiaofan also took out some immortal stones. Although these immortal stones were very common in the celestial world, the energy contained in them could not be compared to the supreme-grade true Qi spirit stones in the human world. With enough energy, the space springboard began to operate. A strong teleportation vortex enveloped Xiaofan and the others. Then, the 15-day teleportation officially began. 15 days later, ha ha ha. The teleportation is over. We are getting closer and closer to our hometown. Ha ha ha. The heroes on Xiaohan's side all cheered and jumped. This time, it could be said that they were returning home in glory. Go. Fly faster. Ha ha ha. I don't know if we will encounter the hallucinatory demonic realm on the way. However, even if we encounter it now, we are not afraid. During our exploration in the Genius Zone, our minds and souls have been tempered and we have made great progress. Now, we can calmly deal with those hallucinatory demonic realm. We don't have to worry about being possessed. There shouldn't be any twists and turns when we go home. Xiaofan smiled. Moreover, those who can return alive will definitely improve at lightning speed in the future. Yes, with this time's tempering, we have all made a leap and achieved a qualitative breakthrough. Xiao Mingchu nodded as he felt the same. He was now in existence at the True Qi 9th level True Treasure realm. In this plane, on the monster hero ranking, it was enough to be ranked among the ancient giants. Let's go. Now, the pagoda master was also trembling with excitement. Everyone, let's go. It's time to go home. Xiao xiao xiao, everyone quickly flew. Destination. Hometown. Xiaohan's plain. The misty Pure Mountain Range. The strict Pure Mountain Sect. In the back garden of the Pure Mountain Sect. Sect Master Wu Yu was trimming the flowers and plants. Fong Ling and Dong Fong Qin stood at the side with their hands down. Sect Master, it has been more than a year. I don't know how junior brother Xiaohan and eldest senior brother are doing. Dong Fong Qin said worriedly. I don't know. The genius zone is full of ups and downs. It involves the competition between the geniuses of the universe level. Although I am very optimistic about Xiaohan, but it is hard to say. Wu Yu paused his movements and looked far away at the white clouds in the sky. However, I always feel that Xiaohan and Mingchu are not dead. To be continued. Chapter 530. After going through so many hardships and near-death experiences, Xiaohan and his companions from the other planes were finally on their way back. On the way back to the plane, there wouldn't be any overly dangerous cosmic energy turbulence. There were only some spiritual fragments. Hallucinatory demonic lands. To the heroes who had experienced the tempering of the genius zone, these hallucinatory demonic lands would not pose any threat. Thus, the road back was smooth and smooth. Moreover, Xiaohan's battle strength was unparalleled, causing the people from the other planes to not dare to plot against him along the way. Xiao xiao xiao, everyone flew at a constant speed. Along the way, they encountered some hallucinatory demonic lands. Xiaohan also collected them and refined them into the spiritual star in his sea of consciousness. However, currently, these hallucinatory demonic lands will not have much effect on my spiritual force. They will not be able to help me break through to the 22nd spiritual finger technique and increase my foundation. Xiaohan was clear in his heart. With my current spiritual force, although it is strong, it will be extremely difficult to continue improving it. Xiaohan pondered as he flew. In the secular world, I'm afraid it will be difficult to find a divine medicine that can nourish my spiritual force. I'm afraid I will need to take an immortal pill to be able to see immediate results and help me break through to the 22nd spiritual finger technique. Yes, an immortal pill for spiritual force. Because my physical body is already so strong that it is invincible in the secular world, it has the embryonic form of an immortal body. Therefore, my soul will not be bound by the physical body and will not encounter a bottleneck because of it. As long as I have enough immortal pills that can nourish my spiritual force, I will be able to continue cultivating the extinguishing sky decimating earth mental technique. However, Xiaohan did not have any immortal pills that could nourish spiritual force. After killing Li Xiaotian, Jida, Naga and the others, Xiaohan had indeed obtained some treasures from them. Among them were many immortal pills, but Xiaohan had identified them one by one. There were definitely no immortal pills that could nourish the spiritual force. Now that I think about it, among the immortal pills stored in the genius zone, there seems to be no immortal pills that can nourish the spiritual force. Nourishing and strengthening the spiritual force is not a small matter. I'm afraid that such immortal pills can only appear on the second floor of the Ju Dao Immortal Emperor's treasure trove, or even the third or fourth floor. Forget it. Let's not worry about that for now. I'll get rid of all distracting thoughts and return to my hometown. I'll take a good rest and recuperate for a period of time. Then, I'll try to break through to the real Qi stage. Xiaofan decided. Based on Xiaofan's current spiritual accumulation, it would not be a problem for him to reach the 7th stage of True Qi, the Talisman Materialization Realm, or even the 8th or 9th stage of True Qi. His accumulation was already huge enough. Now, he just wanted to see how powerful Xiaofan would be when he tried to break through the realms of true energy. In this expedition, I killed all the elites of the Rong Plane. In the Genius Zone, I personally slaughtered several heaven-defying geniuses. Then, I fought against countless Tower Master-level old monsters and slaughtered them in all directions. This kind of accumulation is unparalleled among mortals. Now, I have a premonition that when I break through to the next realm of true energy, I will create a legend in the history of mortals. I'm just curious as to what kind of level it can reach, and to what extent can it reach. Xiaohan was also very curious. Xiao Mingchu also said with a trembling voice. Junior brother Xiaohan, go back and try to break through. With your current accumulation, I'm afraid you can directly reach the 10th stage of true energy and open the celestial eye. Yes, junior brother Xiaohan. With your strength, reaching the celestial eye realm from the expanded acupoint realm is definitely not a difficult task. TSK, to leap from the 6th stage of true energy to the 10th stage of true energy. Since ancient times, among billions and billions of mortals, such a thing has never happened before. Luo Tianyu also said in amazement. Such an unprecedented grand occasion, I, your elder brother, must properly observe the ceremony. Ha ha ha. Little brother Xiaohan, what kind of miracle will you create? Let's wait and see. He, Xiaohan also laughed, full of hope. The 5 of you, return to your plane now. During the break between flights, Xiaohan also summoned his 5 demon warrior slaves. Master, we pledge our lives to follow you. The 5 slaves said seriously. No need, Xiaohan waved his hand and said seriously. Listen, I now order you to return to your plane. This time, Rong and many of the elders under him, including all the demon warriors, except for the 5 of you, have all died, resulting in a total annihilation. The 5 of you can swagger back. No one will suspect you. Moreover, you have also obtained some immortal pills and immortal weapons from the Genius Zone. After you go back, study and use these treasures well. I hope that you can become the master of the plane and replace the previous Rong's position. You control the plane. If I need to, I will bring my family and move over. Do you understand? Xiaohan was also making preparations for a rainy day. He had already fallen out with the tower master of this plane and might leave the plane in the future. Coincidentally, the 5 slaves could reorganize and create a prosperous and powerful plane, leaving a way out for Xiaohan. The 5 slaves exchanged glances with each other. Master, we understand. Master, please rest assured, we have obtained many immortal treasures this time. After we go back, cultivate well, and in the future, we will definitely surpass Rong. We will create a powerful plane that belongs to you, Master. Xiaohan's 5 slaves vowed solemnly. That's good. Leave your coordinates. After 10 years, I will find you and give you a place to enter the 2nd level of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. Xiaohan smiled. After that, the 5 slaves left the coordinates of the plane, bid farewell to Xiaohan, and returned to their own plane. 200 days later. Ha ha ha. We're almost home. The demon warriors of Xiaohan's plane all cheered excitedly. Phew, the tower master also let out a long sigh of relief. Even though the rise of Xiaohan had caused the pagoda master to feel extremely displeased, he was able to return to his homeland in one piece. Thus, his mood gradually became optimistic and joyful. Junior brother Xiaohan, I can already smell the aura of the Purity Mountain Range. Xiao Mingchu said exaggeratedly. Ha ha ha. Eldest senior brother, after we go back, let's go straight to the Purity Mountain Range. We won't go to the Demon Warrior region for now. Xiaofan was also eager to return. Xiaofan's Plain. Purity Sect. Purity Mountain Range. Xiaofan's True Inheritance Mountain Peak. At this time, on the peak of Xiaofan's True Inheritance Mountain, the fragrance of medicinal herbs filled the air. Between the fields, there were crisscrossing paths, and all kinds of colorful flowers and herbs were planted. Colorful butterflies were dancing among them. In some areas where the medicinal aura was extremely dense, even the soil seemed to have turned into precious pills. This mountain peak revealed a kind of ethereal elegance and an extraordinary beauty. It was like a paradise in the secular world. At this moment, in a medicinal field, there was an old man wearing a conical bamboo hat. He was carrying a bamboo basket on his back. He was using tools such as a hoe to carefully dig out mature medicinal herbs. Not far away, there were 3 women as beautiful as fairies. They wore simple clothes, but their temperament was picturesque, like goddesses in the mortal world. These 3 stunning beauties were also carrying baskets on their backs and holding tools in their hands. They were busy in the medicinal field. In a short while, the baskets on their backs were filled with medicinal herbs of various colors. The 3 beauties sat on the edge of the field and whispered to each other. These 3 beauties were Xiaofan's wives, Jing Yanxue and Lan Shirong. The other one was Princess Mo, who Xiaofan had people bring back from the great desolate ancient village before he left. Princess Mo, along with all her family members, had already moved to the Purity Mountain Range. At this moment, on Xiaofan's True Inheritance Mountain Peak, many exquisite and elegant wooden houses were built for Princess Mo's family members and servants to live in. At this moment, Jing Yanxue and Lan Shirong, apart from being incomparably beautiful, had the charm of a woman who had just become a man's wife. As for Princess Mo, she seemed more immature and pure. "I didn't think that uncle would hide a mistress in his golden house and hide you, Princess Mo," Jing Yanxue teased. What mistress in his golden house? Mo is only a princess in distress. Sisters, don't laugh at me. Mo said shyly. Mo's heart was already overflowing with happiness to be brought back by the man she liked. The only thing that was not beautiful was that the man she liked had gone out to train and had not returned yet. This made her full of worry. He has already left for a year. I don't know when he will be able to return safely. Mo put her hands together and made a praying gesture. Mo, don't worry. He is a deity that has descended to the mortal world. In his life, he will always be able to turn misfortune into fortune. He will definitely come back. We should learn medicine refining from great master Yen Lang. When he comes back, we will be able to refine the best medicine for him. Lan Shirong said with a gentle face. At this time, the old man wearing a bamboo hat, who was immersed in digging medicine, also raised his head. He slightly wiped the sweat on his forehead. This person was Yen Lang. After Yen Lang became Xiaofan's slave, he wholeheartedly served Xiaofan and was completely loyal. During this period of time, he taught his medicine refining skills to the 3 women. At this time, a middle-aged man with an elegant temperament slowly walked through the small path of the field and came over. It was Wu Yu. "Sect Master, he has come." Jing Yanxue and the others also quickly ran over to greet him. Wu Yu smiled and nodded. Then, he walked towards Yen Lang. "Sect Master Wu." Yen Lang smiled. "Great Master Yen Lang, is the feng shui of my Purity Mountain Range good? These medicinal fields look like they're growing well. It's a scene of prosperity." Wu Hu greeted Yen Lang with a smile. "Yes, the 6 Peaks Mountain Range is a holy land for cultivating one's body and tempering one's character. It is also a holy land for martial arts, and even more so, an excellent place to cultivate medicinal fields." Yen Lang praised. "Great Master, you praise me too much." Wu Yu laughed involuntarily and then said seriously. Many thanks for Great Master's contributions to our sect this year. After taking the sacred medicine refined by Great Master, my Purity Mountain sect has produced no less than 100 true disciples in a year. Ha ha ha. Sect Master Wu is too polite. Yan Lang said with a slight smile. In reality, I can still refine even more heaven-defying medicine. However, I am wanted by the entire plane and don't dare to expose my whereabouts, and even more so, I don't dare to expose my medicine refining methods in order to avoid being discovered. Otherwise, I wouldn't dare to boast, but it wouldn't be a problem for my Purity Mountain sect to create a few 7th and 8th level true Qi giants. No matter. Great Master, it's better for you to keep a low profile. If you cause a big commotion, I'm also worried that I won't be able to protect you. If anything happens to Great Master, when Xiaofan returns to the sect and questions him, our sect won't be able to bear the responsibility. Wu Yu joked. After pausing for a moment, Wu Yu said seriously. Great Master, you and Xiaofan have a master-servant relationship. Now, can you sense whether Xiaofan is alive or dead? Wu Yu already knew that Xiaofan had used the remnant of the mysterious spiritual technique to enlighten Yan Lang. There must be a subtle spiritual connection between Yan Lang and Xiaofan. That was why Wu Yu asked this question. Yan Lang closed his eyes as if he was sensing something. After a dozen breaths, he opened his eyes, and a strange light shone in them. My master is still alive. Moreover, the aura of his soul is getting stronger and stronger. If I didn't sense wrongly, Master is getting closer and closer to us. In other words, Master is returning from the genius zone. To be continued. Chapter 531. In the Boundless Universe. After traveling for more than 260 days, Xiaofan and the others finally, in front of Xiaofan and the others, a continent appeared 1,000 miles away. Compared to the lifeless meteorites they saw along the way, this continent was full of vitality. On this continent, there were azure oceans, continuous mountain ranges, lush green forests. There were also empires, dynasties, commoners, and all living beings. We're home. We're finally home. All of a sudden, Xiaohan's psychic wave swept over that piece of land, and he felt a little touched. The pagoda master and the others cheered in unison. We've finally arrived safely. The pagoda master trembled with excitement. Then, the pagoda master looked at Xiaofan. Xiaofan, would you like to return to the Wuxia pagoda with me? You have many treasures with you. You can take them out and study them after we return to the Wuxia pagoda. Xiaofan, don't worry. We won't covet your treasures. We'll just take a look. Oh, I won't return to the Wuxia pagoda first. I'll return to the Pure Cloud sect. Xiaofan rejected him directly. Then, he took out a few immortal skill manuals from his storage ring. These were some of the items he obtained after killing his opponents in the Immortal Stone competition. These immortal arts and secret manuals are my contribution to the plane. However, mortals can't touch the immortal skill manuals. They can only study them a little. It's enough if they can understand a little. Xiaofan threw the immortal skill manuals to the pagoda master. Then, he flew into the plane with Xiao Mingchu and returned to the Pure Cloud mountain range. The pagoda master held the immortal skill manuals that Xiaofan gave him. His expression flickered. Then, he gritted his teeth and snorted. He can take out a few immortal skill manuals so casually as if he's giving them to me. Xiaofan, I wonder how many heaven-defying treasures he has. Damn it! He only took out a few immortal skill manuals. Does he think I'm a beggar? The pagoda master said helplessly. Let's go. Let's return to the Wuxia pagoda. Pure Cloud mountain range. Early morning. The mist was like immortal chi as it enveloped the entire unbroken mountains, purifying the land of the mortal world until it looked like a celestial paradise. Dawn was the most important part of the day. At this time, countless inner disciples, outer disciples, and inner disciples of the Pure Cloud sect were already practicing their martial skills in the dojos on the various mountains. It was worth mentioning that the Pure Rain sect had produced Xiaofan, who had started out as a living target. Therefore, a few years ago, the sect leader, Wuxia, had pardoned all the living targets in the sect, making all of them disciples of the sect. If anyone was unwilling to practice martial arts, they would be given money and fertile land, allowing them to leave the sect and live a prosperous life. In the past few years, the Pure Cloud sect had also developed and become a powerful sect in the entire southern region. It could even rival some of the major sects in the eastern region. The morning of this day seemed to be no different from any other day. However, suddenly, rays of light, auspicious chi, and precious radiance crisscrossed and enveloped the entire mountain range. Mysterious phenomena appeared, the air was filled with the fragrance of sandalwood, the air current surged, and celestial music rose in spirals. In that instant, the entire Cloud sect seemed to be completely enveloped by an immortal realm. What's going on? On a mountain peak in the outer sanctum, hundreds of outer sanctum disciples who were practicing martial arts looked up at the sky in bewilderment. At the same time, countless disciples of the Pure Cloud sect on the inner and outer peaks were stunned by the sight before them. They could not help but stare at the sky in all directions. Whoosh 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 whoosh, rays of chi flew out from the legacy mountains in the inner region of the mountain range. Who is it that has come to the Pure Cloud sect? The true chi realm cultivators of the Pure Cloud sect swarmed out. The person in the lead was a swordsman in white. As he walked in the air, waves of sword chi rippled around him, blooming lotus flowers of sword chi. It was as if every step he took was a lotus, and every step he took was a sword. This person was Fong Ling currently. Fong Ling had made great progress in both his cultivation of true chi and his sword intent. He had the aura of a minor powerhouse. I wonder which expert has come to our Pure Cloud sect? Fong Ling asked in a loud voice. Ha ha ha. There's no expert. Senior brother Fong Ling, how have you been? As the clouds dispersed, Xiaofan and Xiao Mingqiu approached from afar. What? In the air, Fong Ling's body shook violently. He almost lost his balance and fell. Fong Ling's eyes widened as he looked at Xiao Mingqiu and Xiaofan. Then, ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Suddenly, Fong Ling let out a long roar and let out a hearty laugh. Eldest senior brother. Junior brother Xiaofan. Ha ha ha. Eldest senior brother and junior brother Xiaofan of our Pure Cloud sect have returned from the Genius Zone. Ring the bell. Announced to the entire sect. The next moment, whoosh, a ray of black light flew high into the sky and crashed into Xiaofan's arms. Junior brother Xiaofan. Ha ha ha. Dongfang Qin had already rushed out and gave Xiaofan a bear hug. You're back. You're back. Safe and sound. Soon, even Wu Yu personally came out to welcome them. In the misty rain, Wu Yu's left eye was cloudy and his right eye was drizzling. He was like a saint who was above the mortal world. He also walked towards Xiaofan and Xiao Mingqiu. At this moment, he seemed to be unable to maintain his composure. He directly walked to Xiaofan and Xiao Mingqiu's side and heavily patted their shoulders. For a moment, Wu Yu's throat seemed to be choked. He couldn't say much and could only say, "You've improved, you've all improved, Xiaohan's true inheritance mountain peak. He's back." Lan Shirong, Jing Yanxue, and Mo Hen all cheered and jumped up. Their beautiful eyes were filled with happy and excited tears. Sect Master, Wu Yu is back. Are you well? At this moment, Xiaohan's entire body was brimming with happiness. At this moment, in Xiaohan's world, demon capital. The demon clan's lair. Last time, Xiaofan had wreaked havoc in the demon capital. Not only had he kidnapped Yan Lang, but he had also killed countless demon emperors and mutated demon emperors. Especially when Xiaofan was possessed by the demonic god. Just a little bit of his aura was enough to shatter countless demonic beasts, and he even killed a demonic emperor in an instant. This caused the demonic beasts in this plane to suffer great losses. When Xiaofan and the others had left the plane to explore the Genius Zone, the Demon Hero Pagoda had been empty. In fact, the entire human world had been undefended. However, the demon race no longer had the resources to cause trouble. They could only cower in the ruins of the demon capital and struggle at death's door. At the same time, they had also hatched some sinister plots. At this moment, the demon capital was extremely cold and cheerless. In fact, there was even a lingering smell of ruin. Every inch of space still had the lingering scent of disaster. On every floor of the demon metropolis, a large number of buildings collapsed. The Earth's crust had been deformed and cracked. Ruins could be seen everywhere. The third level of the demon capital. In the collapsed five-colored demon palace. With Emperor Woodfern in the lead, 9 demon emperors floated in 9 different directions. Thick and violent demon chi filled the air. Emperor Woodfern, it's been a long time since the silver-masked demon emperor destroyed the foundation of our demon race. I wonder where the silver-masked demon emperor is now. I don't know when we can take our revenge. One of the demon emperors said in a strange tone. Moreover, after Grandmaster Yan Lang was kidnapped, there are no more treasures that can help our ordinary demon emperors evolve into mutated demon emperors. If this continues, we will be hunted down by the human demon heroes, don't worry. Emperor Woodfern's face was dyed with madness. He was hysterical. Very soon, the situation will turn for the better. I've already used a secret art to send some messages out with our plane as the center. I've already told the demon race in the countless neighboring planes. Yes, I've already received a lot of feedback. The demon race armies of the various planes. It's coming. I've already sent the coordinates of our plane to the demon race in the other planes. Among them, there are some demon race 10 times, 100 times stronger than us. Ha 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 ha, let us all perish together. If worst comes to worst, we'll all perish together. If we're lucky, those high-level demon race experts from other planes will become our pawns. They'll help us wipe out the human demon heroes in this plane, and they might even help us capture the silver-masked demon emperor. Of course, if we're unlucky, our plane might be invaded and occupied by the high-level demon race experts from other planes. Half and half. Half and half. But if we don't do this, we'll lose everything. We'll all die at the hands of those damned demon hero pagoda. This time, I'm betting everything on this. Emperor Woodfern, what's the situation with the high-level demon race experts from other planes? Are they coming? A few monarch beasts asked nervously. Yes, the news has long since been sent out. However, in the vast universe, the distance between any plane and another plane is extremely far. Between the neighboring planes was a vast and boundless universe. The universe was filled with all kinds of energy, such as peck wind, black thunder, blue fire, sky fire, black hole, space fragment, meteorite stream. Even with the precise coordinates of the universe, it would still take some time for demons from other planes to fly over. However, now, I've received news that at least 100 demon race tribes from other planes have heard the news and are rushing over. They'll all enter our plane in a month at the latest. They're on their way. Moreover, there will be more and more demon clan tribes entering our plane one after another. Roar! When that time comes, our plane will be engulfed in a storm of blood. All humans will become our food. We'll break the balance with the demon hero pagoda. This plane will become a paradise for the demon race. The human race will perish. A boundless disaster will descend. Despair. Slaughter. Fear. Death. Plague. Roar demon race army, destroy everything. To be continued. Chapter 532. After Xiaofan and Xiao Mingchu returned to the Pure Cloud sect, the entire sect celebrated. They were immersed in a sea of joy. The disciples sang and danced, held a feast, released countless cows and sheep, and brought out countless jars of wine. The atmosphere was as lively as New Year's Eve. It was an unprecedented grand occasion. Now, almost all the core disciples of the Pure Cloud sect knew that Xiaofan and Xiao Mingchu had returned from the Genius Zone. What was the Genius Zone? It included countless elite geniuses in the universe, and there was a fierce competition. Countless powerful planes gave birth to countless monstrous geniuses with extremely high life levels. In a situation like this, the geniuses sent by the weaker planes were basically sending themselves to their deaths. Under such a terrible situation, the two disciples of the Pure Cloud sect not only returned alive, but also killed many monstrous geniuses from other planes and brought back many immortal treasures. The entire Pure Cloud sect was proud. At this point, the development of the Pure Cloud sect had reached the most glorious stage since its establishment. No one in the entire plane could match it. In the Pure Cloud Palace, Xiao Mingchu spoke eloquently about Xiaofan's performance in the Genius Zone, as well as how he had single-handedly taken on countless fiendish Daoist antiques after leaving the Genius Zone, and how he had killed people as if they were chopping melons and vegetables. Hearing this, Lord Wu, who had always been calm and collected, was dumbfounded. Fang Ling and Dongfang Qin were also suffocating. Horrifying. Horrifying. Xiaohan, this sect had previously predicted that if you and Mingchu could return from the Genius Zone alive, then without a doubt, the two of you would have made great progress. However, Mingchu is still fine. From the 8th level of True Qi, he ascended to the 9th level of True Qi. His progress could be considered normal. But Xiaohan, you can actually ignore the huge difference in realms and instantly kill tower masters like killing pigs and dogs. This. How much time has passed? You are already so heaven-defying. Even if you are the reincarnation of an immortal, it's impossible for you to have such rapid progress. Wu Lu looked at Xiaohan as if he was looking at a monster. Sect Master, you are exaggerating. This disciple only has some immortal fate and luck. Xiaohan said embarrassedly. Immortal fate is reserved for those with strength and foundation, not myself. Even if the immortal fate comes, I will definitely miss it. I can't grasp it. Blackbird waved his hand. Xiaohan, you don't have to be modest. Right now, you are invincible in this plane. No one is a match for you. You can instantly kill our tower master. Xiaohan, it seems that you shouldn't place your sights on this plane. You should have a long-term plan. Right now, you can imagine the situation in the immortal world. At this rate, you'll be able to become an immortal in less than 100 years. Immortal Ascension. Mortals defy the heavens, like carps leaping over the dragon gate and ascending to the heavens. Become an immortal. Fang Ling and Dongfang Qin exclaimed at the same time. This kind of thing only exists in ancient records. I never thought that it would actually happen right in front of us. Moreover, it's our junior brother. This is a dream. All of this is like a dream. Fang Ling even bulged his eyes. After staring at Xiaohan for 100 breaths, he finally muttered. Xiaohan. Less than 100 years old and has a 99% chance of becoming an immortal. Back then, he was a live target and was bullied by the disciples in that small town. Even a pill that I casually gave him couldn't be preserved and was snatched away. But now, in the blink of an eye, he's about to become an immortal. Killing a tower master with a spiritual fluctuation. He can destroy a secular empire. In the secular world, he can call the wind and summon the rain. Senior brother Fong Ling, I'm embarrassed by your words. Don't praise me anymore. Xiaofan smiled innocently. Then, Xiaofan also said seriously. Sect Master, senior brothers, I return to this plane this time for a short period of time. After 10 years, I still have to participate in the second layer exploration of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. Sect Master, you're right. I shouldn't put my sights on this secular world anymore. I must pursue a higher level world. For example, the immortal world. And in the exploration 10 years later, I have a hunch that there will be a greater opportunity waiting for me. Perhaps, the exploration of the second layer of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure will be an important link for me to contact the immortal world. Yes. Junior brother Xiaofan, you must participate in the exploration 10 years later. You're the biggest winner among the hundreds of millions of geniuses in the genius zone. Vaguely, the supreme luck has already blessed you. I also predict that you will make brilliant achievements in the exploration 10 years later. Maybe, the exploration 10 years later can make you directly become an immortal. Dongfang Qin also encouraged. However, Xiaofan was not blindly optimistic. However, the exploration 10 years later will no longer be dominated by us mortals. The people of the immortal world will also participate. After a few years, those who obtain the immortal key to enter the second layer of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure will be found by the immortals. A large number of places to enter the second layer will be controlled by the immortals. In other words, the secular demons will inevitably become the puppets of the immortals. And I have refined 2 immortal keys. Among them, the purple immortal key is extremely valued by the immortals. Xiaofan smiled bitterly. After a few years, I don't know how many powerful immortals will come to find me. I can't help it. So, Sect Master, senior brothers, I must be humble in the exploration 10 years later. At that time, it will be no small matter to deal with the immortals. If I'm not careful, my reputation will be ruined and I will be turned into ashes. When the immortals are angry, the plane will be turned into ashes. It's not a joke. When they heard Xiaofan say that a large number of powerful immortals would descend to the plane in a few years, Wu Yu and the others were extremely shocked. Although they were the strongest of the secular human race, they had never seen a real immortal in their lives. When they thought that they would see the grace of the immortals with their own eyes in a few years, they felt both curious and suffocating pressure. Moreover, the evil hero who has obtained the fairy weapon and elixir pill this time will also make great progress in the next 10 years. He will not be able to be mentioned in the same breath as before. Junior brother Xiaofan, you really can't let your guard down. It's right to seize the time to cultivate. Xiao Mingchu also looked serious. Through this adventure, I've also come to understand how weak I am. However, I've also been inspired to work hard and learn to cultivate by hanging myself from a beam. Well, all of you cultivate hard. Accumulate the foundation for the great immortal opportunity 10 years later. Xiaofan looked at Wu Yu. Sect Master. Senior brother Fong Ling, senior brother Dongfang Qin, 10 years later, the quota to enter the second floor of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. I have 270 here, even if most of it is given to the immortals, there will still be some left. Hey, let's go together then. Our strength is not enough. Dongfang Qin immediately blurted out. Wu Yu also shook his head helplessly. Xiaofan, we can't compete with the extraordinary geniuses of other planes, let alone the immortals. But the opportunity 10 years later, I can't help but be tempted. That's an opportunity that every mortal dreams of. Sect Master, it's okay, Xiaofan said seriously. This time, I brought back some elixirs. Mortals can't directly take the elixirs, but we have the most outstanding alchemist in the plane, Yen Lang. He will definitely refine a neutralizing medicine so that we can enjoy the elixirs. With the elixirs, we can improve our strength. In addition, I have some immortal weapons here. In this way, sect master, senior brothers, we may have the ability to protect ourselves. Good. 10 years later, our sect will also give it a try. To be able to enter the second floor of Immortal Emperor Zhu Dao's treasure. Even if I die, I can die in peace. Wu Yu finally made a decision. Then, Wu Yu smiled and said, "Alright, Xiaofan, the celebration outside is in full swing, let's go out too." Xiaofan. Your wives have been yearning for you day and night, now that you're back, why don't you go see them? Night. Stars and moons filled the sky. On the main peak of the Pure Cloud sect, a bonfire was burning. These delicacies, and delicacies from land and sea could be found everywhere. A strange fragrance assailed the nostrils. That night, all the disciples of the Pure Cloud sect made an exception and climbed the main peak, singing and dancing, celebrating. Under the light of the bonfire, Xiaofan and Xiao Mingchu held wine cups in their hands, accepting blessings from all sides, and downed the cups heroically. Xiaofan's good brother, Cho, was currently cultivating outside. It was said that his true qi cultivation was not weak. In the domain of the third-level true qi, he could be considered a small expert. In addition, under the bonfire, Lan Shirong, Jing Yanxue, and Mo Hen's beautiful faces were illuminated red, beautiful beyond compare, brimming with smiles of the happiest women in the world. As their eyes moved, they were extremely charming. They all looked at their man with boundless affection. They knew in their hearts that their man was already the most powerful existence in this plane. Crazy worship and true love surged and burned in their hearts, unable to be restrained, unable to be extinguished. Now, no matter what Xiaofan asked them to do, they would absolutely not refuse. After celebrating for a while, Xiaofan called Yan Lang into an art courtyard on the main peak. Ah! Roar! Roar! At this moment, Yan Lang was holding onto a storage ring with both hands, jumping up and down non-stop. His body was trembling as if he was having a seizure, and he was howling like a wild beast. He had completely entered a state of hysteria. Yan Lang, calm down. You are. Xiaofan was speechless. You're already so old, yet you're still bouncing around here, immortal pills. This is an immortal pill. A genuine immortal pill. Ha 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 ha. Master, I boast that I am the most powerful alchemist in countless planes. This, I am extremely confident. In terms of true qi cultivation, I am not considered anything, just like a three-legged cat. But in terms of alchemy, I am absolutely the best. To be honest, I am already tired of all kinds of alchemy in the secular world. In the secular world, I am unable to refine a divine medicine that I am satisfied with. Immortal pills, I yearn for even in my dreams, I want to see them. But that is still too far away. Immortal pills are so precious. I am just a mere mortal, how could I see immortal pills today? And now, Master actually gave me so many immortal pills of all attributes. This is no different from a Taotai finding delicacies, or a drunkard obtaining fine wine. Now, even if I have to die immediately, I will die without regrets. Yan Lang, who had devoted his whole life to alchemy, was extremely crazy about the way of alchemy. Just now, Xiaofan had brought back all the immortal pills from the genius zone and gave them to Yan Lang. These immortal pills were not exchanged with immortal stones by Xiaofan himself. The main reason was that many geniuses were killed and fell out of their storage rings, and Xiaofan took advantage of them. There were thousands of immortal pills, no more, no less. Moreover, there were all kinds of immortal pills of all attributes. Xiaofan gave all the immortal pills to Yan Lang. This made Yan Lang so happy that he almost went crazy on the spot. Alright, don't be happy yet. Xiaofan's face was serious, and he directly stared at Yan Lang. Yes, Master, I am too proud of myself. Yan Lang immediately kept quiet out of fear, and looked at Xiaofan seriously. Master, what do you want me to do? Immortal pills are indeed precious. Xiaofan said coldly. But, ordinary people cannot enjoy immortal pills. Even if it is only an immortal pill, the energy contained in it is not something ordinary people can withstand. If they consume it, their bodies will explode immediately. Yes, Master, I am very clear about this. Because of the difference in life levels, if ordinary people consume immortal pills, it is no different from suicide by poison. Yan Lang nodded seriously. Even if a pagoda master opens the heavenly eye, at most, he can only collect some scattered immortal qi in the mortal world, the quality of which can never be compared to immortal pills. It is also difficult for a pagoda master to consume immortal pills. This is the crux of the problem. Xiaofan stared at Yan Lang. I have given you so many immortal pills, can you use your alchemy skills to make the medicinal properties of these immortal pills be absorbed by the disciples of the Pure Cloud sect? Do you have any ideas? Shockingly, Yan Lang's face was glowing. His eyes were filled with great ambition and confidence. Don't worry, Master. I have 99% confidence that I can neutralize the immortal pills you gave me, refine them, and create a divine medicine that is suitable for the consumption of the Pure Cloud sect. Such a divine medicine, once consumed, will bring great benefits. It can allow all the disciples of the Pure Cloud sect to improve rapidly. I dare not say anything else, but 3 years. In just 3 years, all the disciples of the Pure Cloud sect will have the strength of an ancient authority of the Wuxia pagoda. The outstanding ones, such as the sect master, core disciples Fang Ling, Dongfang Qin, and the eldest core disciple Xiao Mingchu, will definitely be able to enter the 10th stage of true qi and open the heavenly eye. And they will be able to create a real half-immortal body. What? Our Pure Cloud sect, including the inner disciples, will have the strength of an ancient authority? Besides, the sect master and the others will be able to open the heavenly eye and create a half-immortal body? Xiaofan said in shock. Master, I have 99% confidence. No. 100% confidence. I can refine close to 10,000 immortal pills and create more than 1,000,000 divine medicines. Everyone in the Pure Cloud sect will have a share. Yan Lang said decisively. Good. Yan Lang. I will leave this matter to you. Remember, keep it a secret, and don't spread the news before it is done. As long as you can do it well, I will reward you handsomely. Xiaofan was completely excited. In other words, if there were no accidents, 3 years later, the entire Pure Cloud sect would achieve a terrifying leap. If everything Yan Lang said could be realized, then the strength of the entire Pure Cloud sect would surpass this plane's monster hero tower. At that time, I will also give some divine medicines to Shengguan Wudi, Big Brother Luo Tianyu and the others to help them go against the heavens. Xiaofan left contentedly. Late at night. The red candles were burning high. After Xiaofan took a bath, he laid down on the spacious soft couch. Lan Shirong, Jing Yanxue, Mo Hen, all of them covered their bodies with light gauze and sat on the edge of the bed. He. I haven't done that thing with you guys for a long time. Xiaofan smiled ambiguously. Princess Mo Hen, come here. You still haven't. Today, I will officially make you my, Xiaofan's, woman. P.S. This week, we will practice the 3rd subject. I originally thought that I would practice in the city, but I have to go to the suburbs dozens of kilometers away. This is too torturous. Today, I will only return home at 9 p.m. I am a bit tired. Today, I will only update 1 chapter. But fortunately, today is already Thursday. This week is over, and the exam next week or next week. After the exam, I won't have to go through so much trouble. Chapter 533. Life is short. Every moment is worth 1,000 gold. That night, Xiaofan played with the bodies of the three beauties to his heart's content. He vented out all his energy. Princess Mo Hen had been in love with Xiaofan for a long time. She had waited bitterly for Xiaofan in the great desolate ancient village for many years. Today, she finally got what she wanted and was completely occupied by Xiaofan. She completed the complete sacrifice of her soul and body. She had her first time, and it was in front of Jing Yanxue and Lan Shirong. This made her feel ashamed and excited. In the end, she was teased by Xiaofan again and again. She finally rushed to the 9 heavens and screamed passionately. As for Jing Yanxue and Lan Shirong, they were already addicted to the taste. This time, they were even more bold and unrestrained, satisfying many of Xiaohan's special requests. That night, they were infatuated with each other. They played with each other until noon of the second day. The three women collapsed on the bed like mud. Their faces were full of tears. There was a kind of happiness that was derived to the peak and a kind of satisfaction that came after a storm. Their expressions were extremely cute. After they fell asleep, Xiaofan gently covered them with blankets. Only then did he put on his clothes and leave the room in high spirits. Outside the room, a group of beautiful maids who were trimming the flowers blushed when they saw Xiaofan. They wanted to run away, but they couldn't help but steal glances at Xiaofan with their bright eyes. It was extremely seductive. Xiaofan gave them a kind smile, which made their bones and legs go soft. There was an indescribable heat between their legs. Just like that, Xiaofan stayed in the mountain range for half a month. During this time, Xiaofan wasn't in a hurry to cultivate. Instead, he brought his women to tour the mountains and rivers every day. At night, they were even more alluring. Occasionally, he would chat with Wu Lei, Xiao Mingchu, and the others. They were extremely happy. Half a month later. Mountain Range Hall. Xiaofan was ready to go. Wu Lei, Xiao Mingchu, Fang Ling, and Dong Fang Qin were all looking forward to it. Xiaofan, you want to borrow a mental room from the Demon Hero Tower and focus on breaking through. This matter has been reported to the Pagoda Master 10 days ago. We have received his approval. Today, let's go to the Demon Hero domain together. Wu Lei said with a smile. Xiaofan, you are now at the peak of the Xian realm. 60 true acupoints. You want to break through the 61st true acupoint. The true qi transformed into a true talisman, increasing the quality of the true qi. Originally, advancing from the 6th stage to the 7th stage of true energy was just a trivial matter. If it were any other martial artist, it would not be worth anticipating at all. But Xiaofan, you are different. You will create a miracle. Ulama's eyes lit up. Xiaofan. When you were in the expanded aperture realm, you expanded your aperture 10 times and accumulated a total of 2,553 times. At that time, it shocked the world. When you expand your acupoints, you lay down such a solid foundation. Not only do we not have it in our plane, but in countless other mundane planes as well. It was unlikely that anyone could surpass this result. But now, your accumulation is even greater. Your qi has transformed into true talismans. How monstrous would your true talismans reach after 10 baptisms? I don't dare to make wild guesses. I don't even dare to imagine, because of your current life form. No one has the right to evaluate your achievements. Phew. Xiaofan exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. He wasn't a hypocrite, and nodded. When I was expanding my acupoints, it was the accumulation I gained from my trip to the Fiend capital. But this time, I broke through to the 7th stage of true energy from the fierce battle in the genius area, the 100 schools contending, and the cruel competition between the geniuses of various planes. The Fiend capital and the genius area are completely different. Now, the countless unopened true acupoints in my body are restless, transmitting the throbbing of my soul. They can break out of their cocoons and transform into butterflies at any time, blossoming new true acupoints with irresistible force. Now, what I need to do is find a secluded place and explode my acupoints in one go. The spirit room of the Fiend Pagoda is the best choice. Then let's go. Xiao Mingchu was also very impatient. The Fiend Pagoda is already prepared to welcome you, junior martial brother Xiaofan. The time to create a miracle has arrived. Junior martial brother Xiaofan, let's go immediately. Good. Let's go. Cultivating true energy is the foundation. Only when one's true energy reaches the 10th stage and opens the heavenly eye, along with other accumulation, can one become an immortal. If I want to become an immortal, I have to do it step by step. My true energy cultivation can't be left idle and wasted. Xiaohan, Wu Lei, and the others strode out of Xiao Mingchu Hall. Xiaohan, the 6th stage of true energy is to build the foundation. The 7th stage of true energy is to transform true energy into true talismans. That's your actual combat strength. If you were at the 7th stage of true energy, and the number of times you cleansed the talisman was the same as the number of times you expanded your acupoints, then you wouldn't even need to rely on your physical strength to kill a tower master. Fang Ling analyzed while walking. Xiaohan's Plain. The Fiend Hero Area. The atmosphere in the Fiend Hero area was blazing. The huge Fiend Hero area seemed, especially crowded. It was a sea of people. Millions of Fiend Heroes returned to the Fiend Hero area from all over the plane. This caused the Fiend Hero area to be overcrowded. The Fiend Heroes who had a place on the Fiend Hero ranking had all returned. The ordinary Fiend Heroes who didn't have a ranking had also returned. The young people who had just become Fiend Heroes also hurried to the Fiend Hero area. Ancient giants, as long as they weren't in seclusion, they all returned. The Fiend Hero area had never been so lively. There was no other reason. All of the Fiend Heroes had rushed back to watch the ceremony. To pay homage to Xiaohan's breakthrough to the next realm. After Xiaohan and the others returned from the genius area, Xiaohan's reputation spread like wildfire. There was no such thing as an airtight wall in the world. Xiaohan wasn't the only Fiend Hero who returned from the genius area. The other surviving Fiend Heroes couldn't help but tell their friends about the legendary experience in the genius area. They couldn't help but mention the godlike Xiaohan. In this way, one person spread to 10, 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000. The miracle of Xiaohan in the genius area spread in an extremely short period of time. In just half a month, this matter spread throughout the world through the mouths of millions of people. Moreover, the more it spread, the more godly it became. Now, in the entire plane, martial artists who had a little bit of status all knew about the genius area. They all knew about the countless secular planes, the magical powers of countless geniuses, and the cruel competition between geniuses. They also knew that Xiaohan ruled the world, suppressed the heroes, and killed who knew how many tower masters. This kind of legendary experience caused Xiaohan to be worshipped like a god in the hearts of all the martial artists in this plane. In a short period of time, in the secular world, north and south of the Yangtze River. In the 4 regions, countless temples to worship Xiaohan were built in the great wilderness, and the incense was flourishing. Xiaohan's status. He was like the sun in the sky, far surpassing the leader of this plane, the Tower Master. Moreover, Xiaohan's deeds were adapted into popular jokes by many storytellers and spread in the streets and alleys. There were also countless biographies about Xiaohan that appeared one after another. Now, Xiaohan was going to break through to the next realm. This was simply a big event that shocked the entire plane. Because everyone knew. Xiaohan would create a result that would make the world look askance and surpass the past and present. Besides, the last time Xiaohan broke through to the expansion point realm, his expansion point multiplier had reached 2,553 times. This was already an unfathomable heaven-defying result. The current Xiaofan. His reputation was even greater. The results of his seclusion this time would definitely far surpass the expansion point realm. This was simply whetting the appetite of all the martial artists in the plane. In front of the Fiend Hero Tower, many stands had been built, and many Fiend Heroes had already taken their seats. In the void, auspicious clouds rolled, and there were many ancient giants. Among them, they couldn't help but discuss wantonly. One of the ancient giants wore coarse hemp clothes. His face was simple, but his eyes were like the sea. His body was like an abyss, displaying extraordinary combat strength. He was the leader of the ancient giants in this plane, on the Fiend Hero list. The existence ranked first. He was called Boss by all the ancient giants. At this moment, the boss's face was somewhat serious. It's lively, our plane has never been so lively, all because of a heaven-defying youth. Xiaofan. His breakthrough attracted the attention of the entire world, stirring up a storm. An ancient giant with the appearance of a scholar moved his body, and the airflow in the space gathered. This person was the ancient giant that Xiaofan had caused a ruckus in the Fiend Hero Tower, forcing him to come out and stop Xiaofan, and even made a bet with Xiaofan. He was ranked third on the Fiend Hero list. He smiled, "Boss, last time, you didn't see Xiaofan break through with your own eyes. That time, he displayed the potential of an immortal, expanding his acupoints by 2553 times. This plane's acupoint expansion multiplier was created by this little brother, 95 times. For so many years, no one has been able to surpass it. But this young man, Xiaofan, his results are worlds apart from this little brother. Expanding his acupoints by 2553 times, completely at the level of a monster. This time, he will definitely shine when he refines the true talisman. Yes, this plane's emergence of such a talent can indeed help the rise of the plane. The boss nodded slightly. However, there are some rumors circulating outside, saying that this young man not only defeated countless geniuses from other planes, but also that he can even kill a tower master with a single gaze. Isn't this too exaggerated? Ha 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 ha, Xiaofan is a monster, abnormally tyrannical and unreasonable. However, in this world, rumors spread one by one, and in the end, it is inevitable that they will exaggerate and spread false rumors. Killing a tower master with a single gaze, this must be the nonsense of a busybody. The group of ancient powerhouses laughed involuntarily. At this time, just like the time when Xiaofan was breaking through, a flawless white light screen floated in the air outside the Fiend Hero Tower's plaza. This light screen was connected to the spirit house where Xiaofan was breaking through. Through the energy fluctuations, the situation of Xiaofan's breakthrough was reflected on the light screen, allowing the spectators to immediately know the details of Xiaofan's breakthrough. The top floor of the Fiend Hero Tower. The Tower Master and the 12 Elders were silent in the secret room filled with rolling smoke. The atmosphere was very strange. After a long while, an elder finally couldn't hold back and carefully said, "Tower Master, today is the day when Xiaofan is breaking through, and all the cultivators in the world are paying attention. Almost all the Fiend Heroes have come to watch the ceremony. Even the secular cultivators who aren't Fiend Heroes have come, who knows how many trillions of them, waiting bitterly outside the Fiend Hero area to witness a miracle. This. Almost all the ancient powerhouses are outside, preparing to welcome Xiaofan. Should we also put on a show and welcome him? After all, Xiaofan is now very powerful, and is like the sun in the sky. If we don't show proper etiquette, I'm afraid we will anger Xiaofan." "Bullshit!" the Tower Master roared. "Are you saying that I should go and flatter Xiaofan? He is breaking through, and I have to welcome him." Chapter 534. The pagoda master almost flew into a rage out of humiliation. His eyes were burning with the flames of jealousy. The pagoda master naturally knew what was going on outside. He did not feel good in his heart. Now, the love and respect that Xiaofan received far exceeded that of him, the pagoda master. At least, there had never been a case where all the martial artists in the world gathered together to worship him. Xiaofan's limelight had already surpassed that of the pagoda master, causing him to lose face. As the leader of this plane, I have endured all kinds of hardships and devoted myself to resisting the demon race. However, I have never received such a grand ceremony, and Xiaofan. The pagoda master's heart was filled with anger. A villain intoxicated by success. A villain intoxicated by success. The pagoda master gritted his teeth, and his eyes were full of resentment. Just because he is breaking through to the next realm, he can't wait to announce it to the world and let everyone worship him. Let everyone come to watch the ceremony. What kind of mentality is this? His cultivation has reached such a level, but he still likes to be in the limelight. His background is not good, never good. A live target is a live target. He doesn't have the demeanor of a great master. A dog can't stop eating **t. This. Pagoda master, please calm down. It is said that Xiaofan was not the one who announced the news of him breaking through to the next realm. It was the other demon heroes who spread the news. In my opinion, it was not Xiaofan's idea to make such a big scene. An elder mumbled. Shut up. The pagoda master's eyes were cold. All in all, Xiaofan is in the limelight this time. But if he doesn't break through to the next realm, it will be like slapping his own face. At that time, I will see how he will explain it to the martial artists in the world. In addition, I have already lent the best psyche house of the Demon Hero Tower to Xiaofan. I have already done my best. He can forget about me going out to welcome him. Demon Hero Region. At this moment, above the Demon Hero Region, Xiaofan. Wu ***, Xiao Mingchu, Fang Ling, Dongfang Qin. The high-level officials of the Pure Water sect finally appeared in front of everyone. Countless demon heroes gathered in the entire Demon Hero region. At this moment, they suddenly quieted down and raised their eyes to look at Xiaofan, who was flying in the air. Xiaofan was calm and composed. He did not panic at all in front of so many people. There was no nervousness, no pretense at all. His aura was like that of a nobleman who was strolling in his own imperial garden after having his dinner. His eyes were like gems. It was fascinating. Moreover, under the radiance of his immense mental power, Xiaofan unconsciously exuded the aura of an unparalleled expert that ruled over the world. Why are there so many people? Xiaofan saw that there were already so many people gathered in the Devil Xia region. Furthermore, they were all outside the Devil Xia region. There was also an endless stream of horses and carriages, and there were countless martial artists. He also felt a little curious. Some busybody must have spread the news that you're about to break through to the next realm. Wu Yu laughed involuntarily. Xiaofan shook his head slightly. Forget it. Ignore everything else and focus on breaking through to the 7th stage of True Qi, the realm of talisman transformation. Xiaofan did not stay for long and went straight to the Wuxia pagoda. At this moment, all the cultivators in the plain were stunned by Xiaofan's invisible and terrifying aura. Moreover, under the influence of Xiaofan's mental power, even their thoughts seemed to stop. After Xiaofan entered the area of the Wuxia pagoda, countless Wuxia came to their senses after a long time. Xiaofan. He's too strong. This aura completely surpasses that of the pagoda master. Especially his eyes, I don't dare to look at them for a long time. When I look into his eyes, I feel like I'm about to be swept into a nightmarish abyss. Yes, in the face of such a monster, even if he looks at me a little, I will directly collapse and fall into the abyss of eternal damnation, let alone fight him. Xiaofan will definitely lead our existential plane to unprecedented glory. Our plane will definitely rise. Luo Tianyu, Shengguan Wudi, the heavenly devil old man, big fatty Zhu. These old friends of Xiaofan were now all shining with that incomparable pride. From the bottom of their hearts, they all felt extremely honored to have a friend like Xiaofan and to have interacted with Xiaofan before. In front of the Wuxia pagoda. Xiaofan walked alone to the Wuxia pagoda. Suddenly, Xiaofan found that someone was scanning him with mental power. Xiaohan's heart stirred, and he directly looked over. In front of the Wuxia pagoda, in the middle of the auspicious clouds on the square. Pu, among the ancient giants, the number one boss suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. His entire face was pale, and his aura was chaotic. He immediately turned his eyes away and withdrew his mental power. His face showed an incomparably shocked expression. This is Xiaofan. He's indeed peerless and invincible. Just now, when I used mental power to observe him, I was discovered by him, and he directly looked at me and almost caused my divine soul to collapse. His eyes are like a starry sky, a universe. In his eyes, there is an incomparably rich spiritual world, in which there are mountains and rivers, there is a starry sky, and there are countless living beings. This Xiaofan was like a great world that was isolated from the world. He can definitely kill me with one look. He's too strong. Now, I finally believe the outside world that Xiaofan can stare to death a pagoda master. Unbelievable. He has the aura of an immortal. Many ancient giants were directly subdued by the aura emitted by Xiaohan's every movement. Go out and welcome him. Quickly go out and welcome him. Boss directly rushed out. Welcome, young hero Xiaofan. A group of ancient giants split into two rows in front of the Wuxia pagoda and bowed to Xiaofan. Their attitude was extremely respectful. These ancient giants were all arrogant and unruly. Even when facing the elders and pagoda masters, they were on equal footing and would not easily lower their heads in worship. But now, facing Xiaofan, they naturally lowered their prideful heads. They were sincerely convinced. Ancient giants, there's no need to be so polite. Xiaofan smiled casually and then looked at the boss again. I'm sorry. Just now, it was an instinctive backlash from the mental power. It hurt your mental power. Suddenly, a warm mental power directly spread out from Xiaohan's brain and seeped into the boss's sea of consciousness. It made the boss feel as if he was soaking in a hot spring. His limbs and bones felt very comfortable. Moreover, a kind of light of enlightenment appeared on the boss's face. It seemed that a wisp of Xiaohan's mental power caused him to suddenly have an epiphany. Some of the bottlenecks in the cultivation of true qi actually showed signs of breaking through. This. The boss was shaken to the core. On the path of true qi cultivation, the answers that he could not obtain for a long time immediately came to him the moment Xiaofan released his mental power. Crack, crack. Suddenly, the boss's body emitted a sound that sounded like an eggshell being peeled off. His entire body glowed with new vitality, as if he had been reborn. At this moment, boom! A thick immortal energy burst forth from the space between the boss' brows. At the boss's forehead, a crack appeared. A crack appeared, and a heaven's eye appeared. At this moment, the boss's temperament changed greatly. His black hair fluttered in the wind. His eyebrows were like swords, and his eyes looked up at the sky. Ha 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 ha. How many years has it been? For so many years, I've been stuck at the 100th true meridian, unable to break through the 101st true meridian and open the heaven's eye. But today. Ha 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 ha. I broke through. I opened the heaven's eye. I've also become a half immortal. Ha 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 ha. The boss laughed wildly. In the heaven's eye between his brows. An immortal aura floated, as if another world had appeared. In this world, countless immortal spirits danced. Ah! One look actually made the boss open the heaven's eye. The ancient powerhouses beside him all screamed in horror. Cultivating true chi. Opening 100 true meridian and 101 true meridian seemed to only differ by one acupoint, but the difference between the two was like heaven and earth. Opening 100 true meridian in the whole body. That was only the peak of true chi martial artists. And opening 101 true meridian meant that one was a half immortal. 101 true meridian meant that one was qualified to ascend to the immortal realm. 101 true meridian meant that one was called the pagoda master level. Opening 101 true meridian was too difficult. The difference between 100 and 101 was like the distance between heaven and man. In Xiaofan's realm, only one pagoda master had opened 101 true meridian and opened the heaven's eye, a half-immortal. And now, another half-immortal had appeared. Xiaofan. Thank you. Tanheng will never forget this kindness. The boss suddenly knelt down toward Xiaofan. His eyes were filled with tears. A wisp of Xiaofan's psychic fluctuation had caused his life level to change. Don't thank me. In fact, it's because your accumulation is enough. You just need an opportunity. I only stimulated your soul. If your foundation is not enough, there's nothing I can do. Xiaofan smiled faintly and then entered the Wuxia pagoda without looking back. All the Wuxia warriors in the Wuxia domain saw this scene with their own eyes. Directly promoting an ancient powerhouse to the pagoda master level? If this was not the means of an immortal, then what was it? All of a sudden, the densely packed Wuxia knelt to the ground in front of Xiaofan's back. That kind of madness and blind worship was deduced to the peak. On the top floor of the Wuxia pagoda. All the Wuxia outside are kneeling. The pagoda master's mind energy waves were also paying attention to the situation outside. They are kneeling to Xiaofan. They really think that Xiaofan is, what? Xiaofan directly made Tanheng, the number one among the ancient powerhouses, open his heaven's eye and advance to the pagoda master level. This. The pagoda master's eyes were wide open, and his throat made gurgling sounds. Wuxia pagoda. Level 429. The Wuxia Elaine, who was in charge of the House of Intellect, respectfully sent Xiaofan into the House of Intellect of the highest quality in this realm. This was the House of Intellect that could increase one's spiritual touch by 300 times. There was only one in the entire realm, and it was discovered by an ancient pagoda master in a relic. Generally speaking, in this realm, only the previous pagoda masters had the right to use this House of Intellect. Moreover, the energy of this House of Intellect was almost depleted. Xiaofan, I wish you a better result than the acupoint expansion realm. This House of Intellect that can increase one's spiritual touch by 300 times can still be used for 3 more months. It should be enough for you to cultivate. Elaine smiled. 3 months? That should be enough. I think I have accumulated enough. Now it's time to concentrate on exploding my acupoints. I wonder what realm I can reach. Xiaofan nodded and smiled at Elaine in a friendly manner. Then, he walked into the House of Intellect. After Xiaofan entered the House of Intellect, Elaine almost collapsed. She stuck out her tongue. What a powerful mental strength. Just talking to him at such a close distance is already very taxing for me. Invisibly, he can emit a kind of mental pressure. It's too strong. How can there be such a powerful person? Moreover, he's not even 100 years old. Outside the Wuxia tower. Now, all the Wuxia warriors were staring motionlessly at a light screen suspended in the air. This light screen could immediately reflect Xiaofan's cultivation situation in the House of Intellect. He's entered the House of Intellect. Xiaofan is about to break through to the next realm. An ancient powerhouse exclaimed. Chapter 535. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, all the heroes and martial artists of the entire plain raised their heads in anticipation, ready to witness a heaven-defying miracle. Xiaofan finally calmly entered the spirit house, the highest quality spirit house in the demon warrior pagoda of this plain. Xiaofan sat cross-legged in the spirit house. Dazzling talismans flew around the spirit house like snowflakes. These elegant spirit patterns silently seeped into Xiaofan's sea of consciousness. Like a sweet, clear spring, they cleansed Xiaofan's spiritual star and purified his soul, making Xiaofan's spirit, energy, and spirit more condensed and focused. The spirit house was the most suitable place for cultivation. The spirit patterns that filled the spirit house had the effect of bathing one's spirit, making one's mind free of distractions. It was the best place to break through to the next realm. Xiaofan's spirit and soul were already abnormally strong. He was almost invincible among the mortals of the countless ordinary planes. He surpassed most of the tower masters. Now, in the spirit house, he was in the best state. He held his breath, concentrated his spirit, and made his mind flawless. He was in the celestial realm. The commotion outside and the attention of trillions of martial artists had nothing to do with Xiaofan. He had entered the inner world of himself, and nothing else mattered. Silence. Xiaofan's mind was extremely quiet. In his mind, scenes slowly appeared one by one. Bit by bit, he slowly organized his thoughts. There was the scene of Xiaofan leaving the demon metropolis. He was in a panic and was enlightened by an immortal. There was the scene of the demon god's soul residing in his heart. There was the despair and final awakening of his life. There was the scene of encountering powerful people from other planes before entering the genius zone. He dealt with them. Finally, with the help of the hallucinatory demon palace, he killed all the higher-ups of this plane. There were all kinds of life-and-death adventures in the genius zone. There were scenes of him fighting Li Xiaotian, Kid, Naga, and other peerless geniuses in the arena. Many scenes came one after another. This caused Xiaofan to look back again. Every time Xiaofan looked back at a scene, his mind became even more solid and perfect. Strange. After entering the spirit house, Xiaofan did not immediately break through to the next realm. Instead, he was reminiscing. Moreover, what was even stranger was that every memory was able to awaken an indescribable thing within Xiaofan's body. Every memory was a trace of accumulation. Xiaofan sorting through these memories was no different from purifying and accumulating them. After an unknown period of time, boom, 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 boom. Xiaofan's entire body surged. His fleshy body began to surge. His soul spirit began to surge. A spiritual halo that was as dazzling as the light of the ancient gods shrouded the area. All 60 meridians in Xiaofan's body emitted a trembling sound. Very quickly, it began to rumble. It was extremely magical. Furthermore, it was the 61st true meridian. It was already humming lightly. It was as if a new life was about to break out of its cocoon. Wait a little longer. Recall again. Don't rush to open the 61st acupoint. In the past few days, I've gained a lot of precious accumulations. Tempering myself through life and death situations, mountains of corpses and seas of bones. It's too huge. I have to slowly digest it and refine it bit by bit. Don't be anxious. The first step is extremely crucial to turning Xinqi into true talismans. At the 61st acupoint, I must develop the memories to the most intense and splendid moment before I can erupt. Once it erupts, he would reach the peak. Create true glory. Xiaofan had been suppressing, condensing, and compressing. Cultivation knows no time. Unbeknownst to Xiaofan, he had been in seclusion in the spirit chamber for 7 days and 7 nights. Meanwhile, in the square outside the Wuxia pagoda, the densely packed human heads were silent. The chivalrous heroes floating in the void were also as silent as cicadas in winter. Even the hundreds of millions of martial artists gathered outside the chivalrous domain. Not a single sound could be heard. The vast Wuxia domain was surprisingly quiet. Everyone's eyes were focused on the white and flawless light screen floating in the void outside the Wuxia pagoda. This screen was connected to Xiaofan's house of mind, where he was in seclusion. It could immediately reflect Xiaofan's cultivation situation. However, from the day Xiaofan entered the secret spirit chamber of the Wuxia pagoda, this light screen had not changed at all. Not a single trace of energy fluctuation was transmitted. Still water without ripples. Xiaofan had already been inside for 7 days and 7 nights. Sect Master, something is not right. In the square in front of the Wuxia pagoda, Fang Ling finally could not bear it and sent a telepathic message to Wu Bai. Xiaofan has been in seclusion for 7 days and 7 nights, but there is no fluctuation in his realm. If Xiaofan had broken through the 61st true acupoint and successfully advanced to the talisman transformation realm, then this white light screen would have produced a strong energy fluctuation and let us outside know. But there is no movement now, which means that Xiaofan has not broken through the 61st true acupoint as scheduled. Indeed, he has not successfully advanced to the talisman transformation realm. Wu Bai also communicated with some disciples of his sect through telepathic messages. No, that's not right. Based on the Zhenqi that Junior Han usually shows, it should be a piece of cake for him to open the 61st acupoint. As soon as he enters the House of Vigor, he should be able to break through immediately. But now, it has been 7 days, and there's no reaction at all. Could it be that he's stuck? Could it be? Dongfang Qin was also shocked. Let's wait and see. Xiao Mingchu was slightly stunned. I really don't believe that junior brother Xiaohan could not be stuck at the 7th stage of True Qi, the 10th day. Time passed by bit. Now, it had been 10 days since Xiaohan went into seclusion. The white light screen was like a pool of stagnant water. This showed that Xiaohan's cultivation had not improved at all. At this moment, many chivalrous heroes and martial artists who admired and supported Xiaohan could not help but feel anxious and depressed. The entire Wuxia domain was filled with soul voice transmissions. No way. Originally, we were in high spirits and traveled thousands of miles back to the Wuxia region to watch the ceremony. We wanted to witness the peerless demon Xiaohan create an unprecedented and glorious history. When he was breaking through to the 7th stage of True Qi, he refined the true talisman to a terrifying level. But, 10 days have passed quietly. With Xiaohan's combat strength, he could instantly kill a tower master. It should not be that difficult to break through the 61st true acupoint, right? Looking at the current situation, he has not been able to break through the 61st true acupoint. It seems that he has fallen into a bottleneck. Yes. This situation means that he is stuck. In terms of cultivation, he has entered a relatively difficult situation. Alas, almost all the martial artists in our plane have come to the Wuxia region, and most of them have come from the remote depths of the vast wilderness. But, it seems a little disappointing, alas. I have already regarded Xiaohan as my lifelong idol. This time, I came to the Wuxia region with the mentality of a pilgrimage, but I did not expect that it would be like this. This is called the greater the hope. The greater the disappointment. Now, most of the Wuxia and martial artists who were watching the ceremony were very disappointed. After all, Xiaohan had brought them hope and hope for the prosperity of their plane. But now, Xiaohan's breakthrough to the 7th stage of True Qi was blocked. This made this hope gradually become a little uncertain. Those Wuxia and martial artists who held the idea that Xiaohan's prosperity is the prosperity of the plane felt as if their hearts had been overturned, and they were not feeling good. Of course, there were also some Wuxia who were more pessimistic and were now fuming with anger. They began to criticize Xiaofan in their hearts, making up stories about Xiaofan. Meanwhile, the leader of the ancient giants who had been enlightened by Xiaofan and reached the half-immortal realm was now sweating for Xiaofan. In his heart, he was also praying that Xiaofan could get through this as soon as possible. On the top floor of the Wuxia pagoda. Ha 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 ha. Wah ha 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 ha. The pagoda master burst into ecstatic laughter, and his face was glowing. Slapping his face. Ha 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 ha. Slapping his own face. Xiaofan, this guy, is slapping his own face now. Ha 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 ha. This kid is very high profile and insufferably arrogant in breaking through to the 7th stage of true Qi. He gathered all the martial artists in the world, and almost all the Wuxia, to come to watch the ceremony. He wants to create a peerless miracle, establish his position as the leader of this plane in one fell swoop, and replace me. Humph. His idea was very perfect, and it set off the atmosphere to the extreme. However, his breakthrough to the next stage was blocked. A full 10 days had passed, and he was cultivating in the spirit house of the highest quality in this plane, but he still could not break through the 61st acupoint. He was stuck. Ha ha ha. If he had quietly broken through to the next stage, it would have been fine if he was stuck, and he would not have been so humiliated. But now, in front of so many martial artists, he had made such a big embarrassment, and the prestige he had painstakingly built up was greatly reduced. He had lost all face. It's a complete loss of face. The pagoda master was simply beside himself with joy. Pagoda master, it seems that Xiaofan is indeed stuck, an elder said with a happy expression. It seems that this matter is extremely strange. With Xiaofan's ability, he should be able to break through to the 7th stage of true Qi. But if you think about it carefully, it is unexpected, but reasonable. Xiaofan's soul was strong, and his body was invincible. This had already allowed him to occupy the right time, place, and people, and had all the opportunities. Nothing in this world was perfect. There would always be flaws, and this was an irrefutable truth. In other words, Xiaofan was invincible in terms of soul and body, but in terms of true Qi realm, he would definitely be restricted. This was fate. The god of fate could not possibly give Xiaofan 3 paths to defy the heavens at the same time. The soul is strong, the body is strong, and the true Qi is weak. This is in accordance with the laws of nature. Pagoda master, in this way, Xiaofan will not be able to threaten your position. Xiaofan's combat power is fierce, but in terms of true Qi realm, he is too weak. True Qi is the way of the king. Without reaching the 10th stage of true Qi realm, there is no chance of becoming an immortal. His combat power is strong, but he is an unconventional sword. If he does not increase his true Qi realm, in the end, it will all be for naught. In other words, he can only show off in the secular world, but he will never be able to become an immortal. His long-term development will be restricted. There's no way someone like him could become the ruler of a plane, one of the elders said shamelessly. Ahahaha. When Xiaofan comes out of seclusion, we will also go and comfort him, so that he will not be discouraged because his true Qi realm is trash. Ha 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 ha. The pagoda master's tightly furrowed brows finally relaxed, and a knowing smile blossomed on his face. Chapter 536. Xiaofan was in the house of mind. Xiaofan was like a statue, motionless. At this time, the crazy memories were still like a trickle, pouring in. They flowed through Xiaofan's mind and sea of consciousness. Xiaofan's mind was like a sponge, absorbing these memories that belonged to him, combing through these memories. These memories, every detail, were great. They were all heaven-defying. For example, Xiaofan's battle with Naga on the arena, every scene was repeatedly played in Xiaofan's mind. This kind of memory of defeating the number one genius in the universe was very rare. Another example, after Xiaofan left the genius zone, he swept through everything. This memory was heaven-defying enough, it needed a long time to look back. I have probably been in seclusion for a long time. Xiaofan knew in his heart. Xiaofan spent too much time sorting through these memories. Logically speaking, with Xiaofan's mental strength, to recall certain memories of his life, he only needed a thought, and the past would be vivid in his mind. It should not have taken such a long time. But these memories were too extraordinary. In this world, the majority of mortals, in this life, would not be able to have memories like Xiaofan. They summed up their lives, perhaps in a very short period of time, it could be concluded. But these memories of Xiaofan, they had experienced countless reincarnations, they would not be able to have them. It could even be said that if a tower master suddenly had Xiaofan's memories, his mind would instantly explode. This was because his foundation was not enough. It was not enough to bear these memories. Xiaofan only spent 10 days, and he almost finished combing through these extraordinary memories. In fact, it was already very monstrous. Finally, it's done. All the memories, all sorted out. I, Xiaofan, have finally reached the most glorious, the most intense moment in my life. My mind was completely flawless, it had entered a realm that could not be worn down by 10,000 tribulations. Then, impact. Open the 61st true meridian for me. Xiaofan abruptly opened his eyes, and an ancient divine light shot out from his eyes. Boom! At the position of Xiaofan's 61st true meridian, the wind and clouds suddenly surged, a vortex containing a violent hurricane erupted. Rumble! 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 All the true energy in Xiaofan's body rushed out. It condensed into a divine light beam. It directly pierced the 61st acupoint. At the same time, all sorts of unbelievable phenomena appeared around Xiaofan's body. A bright moon rose from Xiaofan's back. From time to time, a magnificent ocean would appear above Xiaofan's head. There was also the phantom of heaven. Amidst all sorts of strange phenomena, Xiaofan's 61st acupoint finally exploded. Hong! A loud noise shook the entire Wuxia pagoda. Outside the Wuxia region, Xiaofan had been in seclusion for 15 days. In these 15 days, there was only dead silence on the white wall. Xiaofan had been in seclusion for 15 days, but his Zhenqi cultivation had not broken through at all. None of the spectators in the Wuxia region had expected such a result. Disappointment. Disappointment. Dejected. Many of the spectators were ready to leave the Wuxia region. I came in high spirits and returned in disappointment. We've been waiting here for half a month, but Xiaofan did not bring us any amazing performance. Sigh, maybe we're asking too much of him. I've heard that even though Xiaofan's battle prowess is heaven-defying, his true energy cultivation has always been his weakness. Before he went into seclusion, he was only at the 6th stage of true energy. This kind of true energy realm is not considered high even in our plane. Xiaofan performed extremely perfectly when he was at the 6th level of Zhenqi, expanding his acupoints by more than 2,000 times. But everyone knows that expanding acupoints is only to build a foundation, not to improve combat power. If his Zhenqi can't turn into Zhenqi talismans, it's all for naught. I'm curious. His acupoints are so perfect. Logically speaking, turning Zhenqi into Zhenqi talismans should be a matter of course. Why is Xiaofan stuck in a bottleneck? As for the Cloud sect, the small team led by Wuxia, they all felt that it was unbelievable and even absurd. Strange. How is this possible? Junior brother Xiaofan should be able to break through to the Zhenqi realm easily. But he seems to be trapped. Dongfang Qin shook his head. At this moment, Xiao Mingchu's pupils shrank slightly as he pouted. After waiting for half a month, some of the Yao heroes who came to watch the ceremony have already left resentfully. This situation will affect junior brother Xiaohan's position in this world in the future. This doesn't matter. Wu Shu pondered deeply. There must be a special reason why Xiaohan failed to break through to the next realm. However, Xiaohan's vision is very far-sighted. He doesn't care about a mere secular world. There's no need to care about the vision of a secular martial artist. At the highest level of the Wuxia pagoda, the pagoda master stood leaning against the railing. Through the window, he looked out of the Wuxia pagoda at the white light screen that was suspended in the void. Tisk, it's been half a month. There's still no movement. The corner of the pagoda master's mouth revealed a mocking smile. I'm almost certain that Xiaohan failed to break through to the next realm. He failed. It's impossible for everything to go as he wishes. The ancient giant Yan Qi also appeared in the secret room at the highest level of the Wuxia pagoda. He also had a mocking expression on his face. This time, Xiaohan, this fellow, has lost all face. The entire plane knows that the true energy he cultivates is trash. However, at this moment, the entire Wuxia pagoda shook violently. It was as if an apocalyptic natural disaster had descended. Even the Wuxia pagoda, which was said to be indestructible, started to shake. It felt like it was about to collapse. Peng, 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 the pagoda master, the elders, Yan Qi, and the others were caught off guard and fell to the ground. All of them fell to the ground. What's going on? Is it an enemy attack? The pagoda master cried out in alarm. Outside the Wuxia pagoda. Rumble. Rumble. Boom. The monster hero pagoda swayed. Vibrate. Bumpy. A loud noise was heard. This made all the chivalrous warriors who were standing in the chivalrous hero region, as well as those who were about to leave, scream in horror. A boundless panic began to spread unrestrainedly. The Wuxia pagoda was a landmark building in the mortal plane. It was also a symbol of the rise and fall of the human race. It was also the dignity that countless chivalrous warriors had sacrificed their lives to protect. In Xiaohan's plane, the Wuxia pagoda had been standing tall since ancient times. It had never even caused any disturbance, which gave all the human beings in this plane a sense of security. At this moment, the Wuxia pagoda was shaking violently as if it was about to collapse. This made all the chivalrous warriors in this plane tremble in fear. However, just when the situation was about to get out of control, the white wall that had not moved for half a month finally changed. Boom. 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 On the white wall of light, there was a sudden surging sound like a tidal wave erupting. The next moment, thousands of auspicious auras and tens of thousands of rays of light shot out from the white wall. All kinds of strange phenomena appeared, and it was a spectacular sight. In fact, there were even waves of immortal qi that were not to be blasphemed spreading from the white wall in all directions. Divine music lingered in the air. What a great momentum! Majestic! Magnificent! Supreme and supreme! King of the world! There's movement. There's movement in Xiaohan's cultivation. It was no longer as calm as still water, but violent fluctuations. This fluctuation is too strong. It has the power to shatter the plane. That's right. The demon hero pagoda is shaking, it's probably caused by Xiaohan's cultivation. One of the ancient giants yelled with a voice like a bell. In an instant, the chaos in the Wuxia region was brought under control. Every chivalrous warrior seemed to have understood something. All of them looked at the white wall. We've waited for a long time. Finally, there's a fluctuation in Xiaohan's cultivation. Every chivalrous warrior's heart trembled. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, the white wall's light screen changed once again. In the white wall, all the strange phenomena, all the auras, and all the energy vortexes began to shrink and condense. Finally, on the white wall, a golden sphere appeared. This golden sphere was shining brightly. It slowly rose up from the white wall and rotated. A pressure that was as deep as the sea was suddenly released. Bang! 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 Under this invisible pressure, the countless chivalrous warriors in the square outside the Wuxia pagoda suddenly leaned back, and some were even sent flying. This invisible pressure made the countless chivalrous warriors in the Wuxia region suffocate. The true qi in their bodies was boiling, and they finally calmed down. He's going to start turning true qi into true talismans. All the true qi in his body condensed into a golden core, released the pressure of true qi, and then turned into a natal talisman. Xiaofan is going to succeed. In the square, countless chivalrous warriors roared and let out heart-wrenching voices. The white wall is emitting such a powerful force. Xiaofan's true qi into true talismans must be incredible. At this moment, puff! 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 The golden sphere within the white wall of light suddenly dispersed. It turned into rays of red light and jade talismans that seemed to have substance. With the Wuxia pagoda as the center, a majestic and heavy pressure enveloped the area within a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles. Boom boom boom, the ground cracked. Fine and dense cracks appeared on the space crystal wall. In the blink of an eye, countless rays of light and talismans on the white wall's light screen combined and fused at an extremely fast speed, suddenly forming a talisman. Xiaofan's natal talisman. This talisman was extremely gorgeous, exquisite, and magnificent, surrounded by countless stars. Even though this talisman only appeared slightly in the white wall, it was powerful. Almost the entire Wuxia region was shaking, and the Wuxia pagoda was about to collapse. It seemed that this plane could not bear the power of this talisman and was about to collapse. The lines on this natal talisman contained the heavenly Tao, as if all the mysteries in the world, including the essence of the sun, moon, wind, water, fire, thunder, and clouds, were contained in it. It's done. Junior brother Xiaofan has finally succeeded. He has broken through the 61st true acupoint. It's too terrifying. The pressure contained in this natal talisman is enough to shatter countless planets and planes. Junior brother Xiaofan has been brewing for a full 15 days, and he finally broke out. This heaven-defying potential is comparable to that of an immortal. Xiao Mingchu roared at the top of his lungs. The entire Wuxia region was densely packed with chivalrous warriors, and they knelt in front of the natal talisman in the white wall. They were like the most devout believers, worshipping the greatest god. To be continued. Chapter 537. Xiaofan had finally broken through to the true energy realm. He had broken through to the true energy realm from the 6th stage expanded acupoint realm. He had opened the 61st true acupoint. Xiaofan had been silently brewing for a full 15 days. Just as countless spectators were feeling disheartened and disappointed, Xiaofan exploded in one fell swoop. He had shocked the world with a single brilliant feat. When other martial artists condensed their true energy into true talismans, they did not cause much of a commotion. After all, the talisman transformation realm was not an impressive realm. However, Xiaofan's breakthrough was like a raging storm. All sorts of strange phenomena appeared, and flowers fell from the sky. In fact, the tremors caused by Xiaofan's breakthrough almost destroyed the Wuxia pagoda. Even the vast Wuxia domain, as well as the area tens of thousands of miles around, shook violently, as if a divine punishment had descended from the heavens. The tremors caused countless spectators to keep quiet out of fear. They were so frightened that they did not dare to speak. Even their thoughts paused slightly. Everyone was suffocating. After all, even if one succeeded in breaking through to True Energy Realm 10, the tremors would not be as fierce and intense as Xiaofan's breakthrough to True Energy Realm 7. If he did not say it, everyone would definitely think that Xiaofan was breaking through to the Immortal Realm. Now, all the spectators were rooted to the ground, unable to move. Their eyes stared unblinkingly at the expanding and wriggling white wall light screen in the void. On the white wall light screen, a natal talisman condensed and appeared. This life talisman blossomed with a divine radiance rarely seen throughout the ages. It glistened brilliantly, and it had a jade-like warmth. However, the pressure it emitted could collapse mountains, fill the seas, and kill ghosts and gods. Moreover, Xiaofan's natal talisman was huge. From the white wall light screen, Xiaofan's natal talisman was at least hundreds of feet long and wide. That was terrifying. It should be known that for any martial artist who cultivated genuine qi, the larger, longer, and wider the life talisman was, the stronger the power of the genuine qi contained in the talisman. In Xiaofan's realm, the natal talismans of ordinary ancient giants were only a few dozen feet long and wide. For example, after 10 rounds of refining, the size of the talismans wouldn't be larger than Xiaofan's life talisman. After reaching the talisman shaping realm, one would be able to condense one's zhenqi into a talisman. The zhenqi in one's acupoints would gush out and condense into a destiny talisman. After that, every time he unlocked one acupoint, from the 61st to the 70th acupoint, he would have a total of 10 chances to cleanse the natal talisman. Every cleansing was to remove the impurities in the talisman. After each cleansing, the size of the natal talisman would increase correspondingly. The power and quality of the natal talisman would also increase correspondingly. Of course, every martial artist's situation was different. After every martial artist reached the talisman transformation realm, every time they opened a true acupuncture point, the number of cleansing true talismans obtained would be different. But without a doubt, the higher the number of cleansing true talismans, the greater the potential. The principle of cleansing a destiny talisman was the same as the expansion of acupoints in the acupoint expansion realm. For example, the ancient giant Shengguan Wudi that Xiaofan had once befriended, after he reached the talisman shaping realm, he unlocked the 61st to 70th acupoint and obtained 10 chances to cleanse his destiny talisman. When he unlocked the 61st acupoint and condensed his destiny talisman for the first time, he achieved the result of cleansing his destiny talisman 13 times. This was not a trivial result. Simply put, it increased the quality of his destiny talisman and natal talisman by 13 times. After 10 rounds, Shengguan Wudi had accumulated to cleanse his destiny talisman 81 times. This meant that the strength of his natal talisman had increased by 81 times. If the number of times Shengguan Wudi had cleansed his natal talismans in 10 rounds was applied to Xiaofan, then, when Xiaofan had expanded his meridians by 2,553 times, the total amount of true energy in his body had reached 150 million cauldrons. If Shengguan Wudi had cleansed and tempered his natal talismans 81 times, then Xiaofan's natal talisman could unleash the power of 10 to 20 billion cauldrons at its peak. However, the size of the initial destiny talisman that Xiaofan had condensed was far larger than Shengguan Wudi's initial destiny talisman. Therefore, the potential of Xiaofan's destiny talisman was definitely higher than Shengguan Wudi's. As for how many times Xiaofan could cleanse his destiny talisman, it was a question now. Gradually, the white light screen flashed with wrinkles and ripples that looked like water mist began to move on Xiaofan's destiny talisman rhythmically, giving off a ding-dong-dong sound. This indicated that Xiaofan's destiny talisman was about to undergo its first cleansing after a short period of preparation. It's time to cleanse the destiny talisman. The demon warriors who were watching the ceremony finally could not hold it in anymore. Almost all of them clenched their fists tightly, their faces flushed, and their throats burst out with a roar. I wonder how many times the true talisman can be cleansed in the first round of cleansing. But look at Xiaofan's destiny talisman. It's actually a few hundred meters long and wide. Its aura seems to be able to shatter the demon hero pagoda. Its quality is unbelievably high. This Xiaofan will definitely create another miracle. I'm definitely optimistic about Xiaofan's first round of cleansing his destiny talisman. I just don't know how heaven-defying it will be. More than 100 times of cleansing? No. It can't be. It's just the opening of the 61st acupoint, and the first round of cleansing is already more than 100 times of cleansing. Isn't this too abnormal? It's said that in our plane, the highest number of cleansing of destiny talisman during the talisman transformation realm is 10 rounds, and it has accumulated more than 100 times of cleansing. How can Xiaofan be compared to ordinary martial artists? He is the ruler of the world, a great figure who has dominated the past and present. He is destined to lead our entire plane to prosperity. He will create a miracle that will make us dumbfounded. Yes. Didn't Xiaofan create a world-shocking miracle when he was in the opening acupoint expansion realm? This cleansing of destiny talisman will definitely be the best. Let's not talk about anything else. If the number of times Xiaofan's life talisman can be as many as the number of times he is expanding his meridian points, reaching 2,000 times or more, then his life talisman will be powerful enough to sweep away an army of 1,000. In this way, the people's hearts, which had been somewhat scattered, were reunited. The enthusiasm and hope of the spectators were stirred to a new height. One by one, they all stared at the white wall light curtain, unwilling to move their eyes even half an inch. Lord! What? What do you think? Dongfang Qin looked at Wu Li with dry lips. I've never seen such a big destiny talisman before. Moreover, this is the initial destiny talisman that hasn't been cleansed once. Junior brother Xiaofan's potential is so great that he won't lose to a real immortal. Wu was also very excited. This life-bound talisman radiates boundless light and heat, as well as the light of the stars, Meng Hao said. The original life-bound talisman I created was only 15 meters long and wide. It had a lot of impurities, and its color wasn't pure. Compared to Xiaofan's natal talisman, it's like comparing a firefly to the moon. I don't dare to recklessly evaluate Xiaofan's potential and final results. On the top floor of the Wuxia pagoda. Damn it! The pagoda master's face was deathly pale. He crawled up from the ground and steadied himself. He looked at the white light screen outside the window and saw the life talisman that Xiaofan had created. In the end, this kid still succeeded. Damn it! A villain intoxicated by success. The quality and size of the life talisman that this fellow created, far surpasses this seat in the past. What a monster! What a beast! Why did our plane give birth to such a monster? The atmosphere is too huge. Many of the elders were petrified. Wait and see. Maybe it's all bark and no bite. Yan Qi stuttered. Get out. The pagoda master stared at Yan Qi fiercely. Such a big life talisman, are you blind? Now, Xiaofan's rise is unstoppable. You're lying to others and deceiving yourself. You're annoying. Get lost. The pagoda master was filled with anger. He had nowhere to vent it, so he sent a palm strike at Yan Qi, causing him to vomit blood and retreat. The white light screen floated in the void. Tens of thousands of people were paying attention to it. At this moment, waves of starlight and clear immortal qi washed over Xiaofan's life talisman within the white light screen, producing a loud sound that sounded like a rolling tide. Pooh! 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 Countless impurities peeled off from Xiaofan's life talisman and were washed away into nothingness. Xiaofan's life talisman became brighter and brighter as it was washed away. It became even bigger. The first wash. Then. Layers and layers of energy aura, like waves, continuously washed over Xiaofan's life talisman. The number of washes was increasing. Faster and faster. The quality of Xiaofan's life talisman was also increasing steadily. Every demon warrior watching the ceremony was counting in their hearts. 1 2 20 100 300 500. In less than 100 breaths' time, Xiaofan's natal talisman had been refined and cleansed more than 500 times. Moreover, the speed at which the divine light washed the life talisman was getting faster and more frequent. Not only did it not show any signs of weakening, but it was also continuous and full of energy. It has already exceeded 600 times. Oh my God! It's only the first round of washing, and now it has exceeded 600 times. The quality of the life talisman has increased by 600 times. A peerless demon, unparalleled in the world. There was an uproar in the square. The sound of people sucking in a breath of cold air and screams of horror rose and fell. It was a mess. However, all the sounds quickly subsided and was replaced by dead silence, because, on the white wall, the divine light was still washing, faster and faster. All the spectators did not have time to exclaim and continued counting. Everyone's mouths were agape. 1,000 1,300 1,500 2,000 2,400, with each wash, Xiaofan's life talisman continued to expand. Now, it was more than 10,000 feet long and wide, covering the sky. With a slight vibration, the mountains and rivers turned into powder, the sun and the moon turned into ashes. Moreover, there was a mysterious immortal aura on this life talisman. As it rotated slightly, waves of ancient sounds came from the void, like the morning bell, like the evening drum, cleansing people's souls. The life talisman's talisman also emitted a dazzling light, as if it was illuminating the starry sky of the universe. After an unknown period of time, all the energy fluctuations on the white wall finally stopped. The natal talisman that covered the sky and covered the sun was finally no longer cleansed. Xiaofan broke through the 61st acupoint, and the first round of washing of the life talisman was finally over. Finally, in this round of washing, his life talisman reached an extremely abnormal 3,000 times. No one had ever done it before, and no one would be able to do it in the future. The best in the world. To be continued. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.